We'll go ahead and fire up Substack. Give me 1 second to get my last application going, and we should be starting the program momentarily. So if you'll bear with me for one last platform. One last place. That's News Nation. If you guys hear it in the background, News Nation is running. So almost, we're going to be talking about the State of the Union address now. Longest State of the Union address in U.S. history. So I'm assuming a lot of you guys didn't watch it. I did. I watched all of it, and the um, I watched the Democratic rebuttal from the governor of Virginia. So we're going to talk about it all, but give me a minute to get my last platform going, and we should be able to get the party started momentarily. A lot of a lot of viral moments came out of this. I mean, it is President Trump. He knows how to utilize on-air time. He is probably one of the best to ever do it, certainly in politics. So, um, yeah, he gave us a whole lot of clips in viral moments, and we're going to talk about the one that's obviously the most popular that the Republicans are using to run television ads with, and whether or not, or better yet, how it makes the Democrats look. So let me go ahead and start the program, and I think we should be going in. Looks like 3, 2, 1. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you ask. Give me one moment while I make sure I got the lighting right on that one. Yeah, okay. So I'm assuming that if you didn't see the State of the Union, and I know all of you didn't see it, if you didn't see the State of the Union address, you at least seen plenty of snippets, plenty of snippets. There's a few of them that went viral. There's a few of them that went viral. Look, President Trump said what he normally, President Trump knows how to take his jabs. He knows how to throw punches. He knows how to create villains very well. Last night was no, let's see, last night didn't disappoint. I'll leave it like that. Last night did not disappoint. He did what he does best. He found villains and pointed them out. So we're going to talk about it from that angle. For some reason, one of my cameras, I don't know if it's the whatever, but the lighting on. Anyway, so we're going to talk about it now. Let's try it again. We did this yesterday, but I want to try it again with you folks. By way of yes or no, how many of you folks seen last night's State of the Union address? Put in the comments yes or no. How many of you actually saw last night's address? And I see JP Parker says Duke said it was a setup. It may have been. It may have been. It's a, look, politics is all about gotcha moments. It may have been a setup to ask them in regards to protecting Americans over illegal immigrants. You know they're not standing for anything. So let's throw out something that anybody with any common sense will stand for. And when they don't stand for it, then boom, it could be a setup. I mean, there could be some of that. Handsome Conservative says YouTube is preventing me from telling you how great the State of the Union was. No, it's not. Conservative, thank you for supporting the program. Thank you for your generosity. No, you thought it was great, huh? Kind of like Frosted Flakes. They're great. So let me, before I even go deep into the monologue, and I have a hell of a monologue because there's a lot to unpack here, but I want to go straight to a guest just to, I believe, may have seen it on Instagram. Dencal, we'll see if we can bring him up. A lot to talk about, but certainly that viral moment of the Democrats not standing. Dencal, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Hey, so the Democrats, I'll see if I can. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure a lot of people seen it. But for the sake of the program, I think it's. I actually think it's worth playing. So I want to discuss it.
So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
The Democrats did not stand for that. What say you?
They shouldn't have.
They should not have stood for protecting American citizens over illegal aliens. You want to explain why not?
If that were coming from a true place, I would say yes, stand up. But from Trump, that's laughable. He doesn't give a shit about the American people.
What makes you say that? I mean, he's America first. I mean, he's according to President Trump.
Come on, man. You can't just keep parroting that line when we're literally over there about to bomb Iran. We're talking about taking over other countries. We're giving money to Argentina. We're doing all of these trade deals that are hurting Americans. You can't just say the slogan and then expect people to, react off of the slogan. Like, that's not what he's doing.
Well, and according to President Trump, if I can get out my notes, because there was just so much shit going on. He stated, chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, and rent are lower today than when I took office by a lot. So you say he's not doing for the American people. How do you respond to that?
Anybody, in the live who actually does shopping and buys those things know that isn't true.
I actually had a viewer, because I did a short on this and use the exact quote. I had a viewer state that their groceries, since Trump has taken office, has come down by 20%. I think he said he's paying $200 less per month for groceries.
Oh my goodness. And you just sat there and listened to him, and with no proof or nothing, and just be like, okay, yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Well, no, because this is on a video. He just typed it in the comments. I simply asked him, where do you live at? Because $200 a month is significant to save.
Exactly. It's the same as what they're telling you about the cost of fuel. Oh yeah, my gas is down considerably, and then when you actually do the numbers, you might be saving $20 a month.
Yeah.
But they're making it seem like your life has been transformed by the cost of fuel, which is down about 30 cents from the year before. So I don't buy it.
Yeah, but now, and by the way, you mentioned about to attack Iran. Apparently, I don't know if you heard this. This came in not long ago. Apparently, an American speedboat got close to the nation of Cuba, and they destroyed the boat and killed 4 people on it and injured 6. So that came from the nation of Cuba. They're suggesting that someone on that boat, tried to violate their sovereignty. And the inhabitants on the boat apparently opened fire. So they killed 4 of them and injured 6. Now, you mentioned, with Iran and things like that. Is this something you expect us to respond to in kind? I mean, I don't know.
How could we? If we're saying ourselves that a sovereign country has the right to protect itself
Right.
from incoming from whatever they believe is a threat, and that basically execution is the proper remedy, then what are we attacking them for?
So you're saying they're not doing anything more than what we've been doing?
Hey, we opened it wide open when we just said in international waters, or you can just do what you want to people because you believe without proof. Then how should we react?
But then, Cal, we're Americans. Our shit don't stink. It's a difference. We can do it to you, but you're not supposed to do the same shit to us. Our shit don't stink. You ever heard of that phrase?
Yeah, I get it. And we probably will do something. I mean, we've already got them damn near starving over there. We've cut off all of their oil from Venezuela. I don't know what more you can do to them.
Yeah. Not only that, and I see in the comments, Maga React says, where's the video? This news just came in. I don't know if there's even any. This is the Cuban government destroying an American speedboat. So I don't know if the Cubans took any video or anything on it. So I don't know if there's any video that exists, but they claim that the boat was pretty close to their shores and they didn't respond to orders to turn around. And they ended up getting into a gunfight and they killed 4 people on the boat and injured 6. So I don't know if there's a video out there though. Go ahead.
How dare he demand to see proof?
point.
He want to see some proof.
Yeah, but that sounds like Allen Iverson. You talk about practice?
We don't do proof around here. We just say this is what happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's what I mean. I don't know if they're not saying if the inhabitants on the boat were U.S. military, were there some citizens, or who these people were, but they did say it's an. They just said this is what came in on News Nation about 30, 40 minutes ago. It was an American speedboat. That's all I'm hearing. So it could have been, some kind of undercover issue where the American military didn't want to admit it was them, CIAs. I don't know. I'm speculating my ass off, but they said American speedboat. How many Americans are trying to fuck with Cuba?
There's still a drug trade in Cuba. They still is a black market. We have no idea, and we probably never will know who it was or what it was, just because that's the way our world is set up now. If people just say shit, you just got to take their word for it. We got all of this information now that after Trump was in office, there was a stand down order on investigations that had anything to do with Epstein after he got arrested.
Apparently, because they talked about how President Trump in 2006, this sheriff testified that Trump talked about how Epstein was a bad guy and all that. Yeah, apparently it's come out that there is a 13-year girl that was 13 at the time that suggests that Trump and Epstein sexually violated her. And that information has been taken out of the files.
Exactly. And all of this stuff we know. But MAGA Reacts want to ask about proof of a fucking boat in another country. Give me a fucking break. He don't care about this country. Trump don't care about this country. They care about the facade of winning something.
So why do you, if what you're saying is true, I'm asking you the same question I ask all the time. Why do you believe you see what you see and MAGA does not see that as well?
Because they're intentionally ignoring the shit.
What would be the purpose of doing that?
MAGA Reacts went down a rabbit hole and went through every fucking video of
Alex Preddy and Renee Good, yeah.
He created diagrams and he went through he went on his video game and created everything. But you ask this motherfucker, did you read Project 2025? Do you know about any of the Epstein files? And they'll be like, no, because it didn't happen. It was fake.
MAGA Reacts did give a detailed illustration on how Renee Nicole Good lost her life. He did do that.
And he lied about the angles and everything. He created some shit, like some AI shit that was completely fucking wrong. And he will argue your ass down that she tried to hit him. I can't have conversations with people who want to ignore reality, man.
Yeah. Well, he's listening and he disagrees. He says, how are you comparing videos to what if BS? I don't quite get what you're saying, MAGA Reacts. Renee Good wasn't a victim, says Jeremy. They don't look. I've never seen so many people celebrate the death of a woman, whether or not you think she was a victim or not. It's as if MAGA is happy she died.
And they said the other gentleman that was killed, they said, well, did you see that video from a week ago when he kicked the police car?
That would, if they have a
play stupid game, win stupid prizes. That's what they say.
Yeah, but that didn't apply at all to Ashley Babbitt. All of a sudden now he should have knew she wasn't armed and she's just a small woman and all this other stuff. I mean, some of it, the hypocrisy is overwhelming, but I just never seen so many people celebrate the death of somebody. Whether you think Alex Preddy or Renee Nicole Good were justifiable or not, it shouldn't be something to be happy about.
And the president didn't even mention it as a tragedy. I'm not saying he had to take responsibility, but he could at least say, people, American citizens, for whatever reason are getting caught up in this stuff. He just ignored it.
Apparently, he didn't mention that, but apparently also some of the Epstein survivors were at that State of the Union address as well. And, of course, the Trump administration has not acknowledged them at all. Even when they were standing right behind Pam Bondi, they were not acknowledged.
This is the most baffling thing about this shit. Is that we go from one side where they're like, oh, it's people, it's this cabal of rich people that's eating kids and they molesting them and they doing all of this stuff to them. And then when you see the children, they actually ignore all of them.
Yeah. I don't. That was another thing that me and MAGA Reacts was kind of going back and forth on. I think he somehow, some way believes that the Trump administration is intending to give those victims justice. But in listening to what you're saying, and I kind of agree with what you're saying, I don't see it. I don't see any desire to give them justice at all. I see more of a desire to make the story go away.
The victims have said themselves that they reached out. They've been trying to give information, and they have been ignored. Just like we just said, they had a stand-down order.
Yeah, well,
of investigating him, and then the man ends up dead in a jail cell who's supposed to be on 24-hour suicide watch under President Trump, and everybody's acting like, well, that's just, Trump didn't have nothing to do with it. It was his Justice Department.
Well, Trump has a beautiful way of being able to disassociate himself from stuff that happens under him, because he still talks about the 2020 election. That election was under your administration. I mean, Biden wasn't president, the guy you claim that stole it. I mean, you were president.
He's saying his administration cheated on him. That's what he's saying. He's saying that the people that he picked, the one that always picks the best people, the people that he picked went undercover along with the justices of the Supreme Court that he selected, all said you fucking lost.
Well, and that's exactly what they do believe that Mike Pence and all of them that said he lost were kind of in on it or something weird.
Supreme Court justices?
I'm just telling you. Yeah, the deep state got them or something. I don't know. But they do believe that all the Republicans that also say Trump lost were in cahoots with the Democrats. It's something weird, because I've asked that question a lot. Like, I don't think there's any Republican governor. Most of the Republican Senate, Republican Congress all say Trump lost. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying he didn't lose, but most of them on the Republican side of the aisle during that time say he lost. And when you ask MAGA, why would the whole Republican Party lie against the guy? They got some kind of answer like, the Democrats had bought him off, or they're bought and paid for. It's some answer like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. We sat here and watched the leader of our military send secrets to a damn journalist by mistake of ongoing active military action. Yeah. And the dude came out and said, I don't know what you're talking about. Wasn't none of that top secret.
You talking about via the signal chat? I mean, yeah. And then got caught using it again in another meeting.
While he's in an official meeting, and the photographers caught him on this damn app again.
Well, listen, the Trump administration has a way of doing things where you don't have to worry about all of the Democratic accountability. They have a way of doing things, man. I wish I could go through life with that kind of power. They do have a way of doing things, because like I've said before, I still am curious as to what that African American admiral that just resigned in the Venezuelan theater, I want to know what he has to say. Something made him do that.
Of course, and we know what made him do it. Because if there were any other excuse, we'd know it by now.
Yeah.
If it was something innocent, like somebody in his family got sick, he wanted to spend more time at home or whatever, but generals just don't say in the middle of their tour, yeah, I'm just gonna leave all of this shit. I'm just gonna walk away.
Well,
that's how they do it.
And that's what he did. I assume eventually he will be called to testify before a different Congress than we have. If the Democrats win the midterms, you may hear from him.
Right, for sure. I mean, but there has to be some type of transfer of power, because he understands like what he's up against.
Yeah, they gonna hang him. They would hang him.
Right. They would say he was a traitor.
Yep.
He revealed national secrets. He did this. this, he did that. So I get it. He doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be in.
He don't want to be fucking hung. He don't want to be fucking hung. He would be right there with at what is the guy? Senator Kelly out of Arizona, who just simply said don't follow illegal orders, and they tried to hang him.
The courts just finally said leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah.
All 6 of them, leave them alone. Leave them alone. And you know, it is what it is. Like, literally every one of these cases of this retribution, has anybody been held accountable? Has anybody actually gone to court and been convicted of the shit that he's been saying? Anybody?
I haven't heard of any illegal immigrants getting in trouble, because I mean that's what we have the Save America Act that's coming to stop illegal immigrants from voting. I haven't heard of anybody being convicted for doing it.
Exactly. But yeah, we about to change the whole situation and require people to basically putting on a poll tax. This shit is gonna hurt Trump voters too, because a lot of them motherfuckers don't got their documentation either. The motherfuckers that come out the hills and shit to vote in West Virginia.
Well, I don't think it's. I think that the challenge might be is you in liberal states suggesting that the documents they presented to get registered are not accurate or not authentic. And in the Republican states, the scrutiny of the documents may not be done as, as heavy.
Yeah. So they might be like, oh, yeah, you know Will and them up there. Yeah, them good people. Yeah, they're American citizens.
I mean, that's exactly what happened during the time when African Americans had to take literacy tests and things like that to see if you could read before you voted. They would scrutinize the test of African Americans, and the whites that would take the test, they really wouldn't grade it at all. They would just pass it on through. So everybody took a reading test, and only you guys are failing, because you ain't judging them. But that's how they, so you can scrutinize the documents coming from predominantly liberal areas and just kind of push on through any documents coming from areas where the people voting for you from.
Yeah, I mean that's where they got us at right now. Hey, I just wanted to take 2 quick things before I go. Mm-hmm. I just want to know if you'll ask MAGA Reacts and some of the other MAGA people, how do they feel about Americans, us giving $10 billion to the Board of Peace, like using our tax dollars to go to an organization where Donald Trump has sole.
I can answer that to some degree. Listen, if you lean right, most of your media you watch comes from folks on the right. If you lean left, kind of the same way. Right-wing media is not going to tell you about that stuff. So my guess is many of them.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Oh, they won't believe it coming from you. They won't believe it coming from a liberal, and their own networks ain't covering it.
Well, it will be easy for you or them to pull up a quick.
They ain't gonna do that shit. Donald Trump said he's only up and up. You don't need to research him. He's good for America. He's one of the good guys. They're not researching Trump.
Well, look, when they got to go and stand in front of whatever God they own, whatever God they have, they gonna have to explain that. Why they did what they did. And the last thing I got is, I don't know if people understand that the EU has now denied access to their airspaces if America wants to try to attack Iran.
Yep. I know the UK had already, we talked about the UK had already said that our attack on Iran could amount to what they say, a violation of international law. So you're saying the whole European Union is now joined in that.
That's what they said. So we're gonna see, but that's a big fucking.
That's step one to losing our alliance with those people. Yeah,
for sure.
That's them making sure they come out on the world stage and say we are not down, even though we're not down with our NATO member ally going and invading Iran. We're not down with that. That probably is going to hurt their relationship with Israel too. I'll move it on, Dencal, but I didn't hear that. I did not hear that. Wow.
Last quick question on this Instagram. How do you give gifts and stuff? Like, do you get?
I fucking wish I knew. Because I haven't figured it out myself yet. There's got to be a way to do it. I don't know yet though. I haven't.
Yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to figure this out because I left TikTok because of
Yeah.
my personal
Understood.
opposition to what's going on, and I'm trying to figure out a way to be to continue to be a part of the show. But it's difficult on this app because I don't know the ins and outs. But we'll figure it out.
All right. Now I believe you can. I believe you can sub to my page as well. I'll figure it out and certainly let you know now that you asked about it.
I'm already subscribed
Okay.
to your page over here, but I don't know if it's the same as the paid subscription or how it does.
Give me a day to figure it out. Now that you asked, I'll certainly figure it out.
Right. If we can get more people over here on Instagram and you can show us a little bit more love. I know you're partial to your TikTok crowd, but
I see somebody, Big Bird, is saying plug in your Cash App. The Handsome Liberal. That's Cash App. $, the Handsome Liberal. That's nobody ever said, but I would appreciate it. But yeah, the Handsome Liberal on Cash App that's where it is.
I already do it through YouTube.
Right.
I go on there and do the super chats and stuff,
but I appreciate the asking of it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
all
right. Thank you, Denkel. So we're going to go ahead and do the monologue. I saw him in there, and I wanted to address Denkel, but we certainly, yes or no? How many people saw the State of the Union address, or did you see just snippets of it? How many of you folks actually seen the whole address? Longest SOTU, S-O-T-U, in American history. Longest one ever. Yes or no? How many of you folks actually saw it? I'm also going to ask, particularly on YouTube, tap that like button. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. You know how the program is ran. We don't block, or ban, or censor any damn body. We've been MAGA friendly since day one, always have been MAGA friendly, always will be MAGA friendly. That's the way we do it. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q, so everybody gets to speak. We don't censor anybody. So you can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. But I do need you folks to tap that like button if you're watching on YouTube. We want to get the MAGA side in here as well. A bunch of things I want to talk to you guys about before we go to the next caller. Crazy shit and beyond, such as Representative Al Green from Houston, Texas, showing up with a sign. He got kicked out. Representative Al Green from Texas got kicked out in the beginning by showing up with a sign that says black people aren't apes. And he had a vocal outburst. So they kicked him out. So he was not at the address because they kicked him out in the beginning of it. So he didn't get to sit through the whole thing. But there he is with his sign. And I think Alter Ego says, lucky him. But there he is with his sign saying black people aren't apes. We know what that is in relation to. And thank you, Blue One Banks, for the Galaxy. Appreciate the support. But there's a lot here. I do want to run some clips by you because, of course, President Trump, the statement going viral. A few more folks have come here. I do want to play this again because we're going to be talking about this a lot and how it makes the Democrats look.
A chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe.
I don't know why I got that like that, but I do want to rewind it because for some reason it's in the wrong speaker.
Representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
All the Democrats sitting, all the Republicans standing. Does this make the Democrats look bad? Because you're hearing that constantly on how bad that made the Democrats look. Common sense question, why the hell would the Democrats not stand? So I do want to talk to you about that, but President Trump is not, he's just simply put, he's not the first person to go through this. That's what I'm trying to say. President Trump is not the first person to go through something like that. For instance,
we must all speak out. There's no place for political violence in America. We have to protect the right to vote, not suppress the fat fundamental right. Honor the results of our elections, not subvert the will of the people. We have to uphold the rule of law and restore trust in our institutions of democracy. We must give hate and extremism in any form no safe harbor.
And as you see, the same thing happen. He said we must not give hate safe harbor. The Republicans didn't stand for that. Why is that? So we want to talk about the Democrats not standing for Trump stating we need to protect Americans over immigrants. Why wouldn't they stand for something like that? Why would they not stand? Once again, I'll let you hear it again.
Right. Honor the results of our elections, not subvert the will of the people. We have to uphold the rule of law and restore trust in our institutions of democracy. And we must give hate and extremism in any form no safe harbor.
And you see, McCarthy is still sitting and Kamala Harris is standing. McCarthy did not, he's saying we must not give safe harbor to hate. Why is the Republicans not standing for that? So understand when the Democrats did not stand for President Trump for something that sounds like common sense and something that all Americans should be behind, it's happened before. It's actually happened before. Why wouldn't the Republicans stand for a suggestion that we should not give political violence and hate a safe harbor? Why wouldn't they stand for that? So we'll talk about that. But, listen, presidents getting heckled is nothing new. This is something that we've seen time and time again.
The United States of America will never, ever be questioned. So some of my Republican friends want to take the economy hostage. I get it, unless I agree to their economic plans. All of you at home should know what those plans are. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy of the proposal.
And you see Marjorie Taylor Greene standing there, throwing fingers up and shit like that. So understand, for anybody who thought it was disrespectful, and I'm one of them people. I'm one of those folks who believe heckling Trump is disrespectful to the office of the president. But I also believe heckling Biden is the exact same thing. So if you were okay with heckling Biden, but you suddenly have a problem with heckling Trump, then you're being biased. But as I said, heckling presidents goes back. I want to tell you, as someone that is a Gen Xer myself, born in the early 70s, most of my life, I did not see presidents being heckled. The office of president was a highly respected position, and people, whether they agreed with what the president said or not, did not heckle our commander-in-chief. I don't recall Reagan or George H.W., Bill Clinton, I do not recall them being heckled in the middle of a speech because we respected the office of president. The first time I seen someone get heckled while giving a speech?
Those who claim that our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This too is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally. It's not true.
So someone just yelled out, "You lie," right in the middle of his speech, right in the middle. That's the first time, at least in my lifetime, maybe some of you folks can let me know, you may have seen things before. The first time I've ever seen somebody so disrespectful to yell out at a president mid-speech to do something like that. First time I've seen that sort of disrespect. So for folks who are on the right, and there's a hell of a lot of them, I talked to many of them today, that believe it is disrespectful to do that to Trump, understand it's not unique to Trump. It's happened, obviously, as I just played you clips, it's happened well before Trump came on the scene. Blue One Banks. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. So it's happened before President Trump came on the scene. But President Trump certainly did not, I'm burping here. President Trump certainly did not like what was yelled at him. And if I can find it, he had a statement. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but he said something in response to the folks that were indeed heckling him. But like I said, President Trump himself did not have a problem when his side was heckling Obama or heckling Biden. So he's okay with heckling. He just don't like to be heckled. I think his phrase, I don't know why I don't have it queued up, which I thought I did, but he basically said, "You people are crazy," to the Democrats. So it is. Anyway, in addition to that, we want to talk about whether or not the Democrats should have stood in all of the heckling things going on. President Trump also made a statement. Well, here's what I was talking about, by the way.
Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
So whatever heckling they were doing, by saying something like that, you're just going to encourage a lot more of it once you do something like that. He just literally encouraged a lot more of it. But I want to give you some, before we start going and taking callers, and I see a few of you folks are holding on. For you folks on TikTok, I need you guys to tap the likes. Get the pro. We should have been around 20,000 by now. Tap the likes. It helps out with the program, helps out with the algorithm. And of course, you know what I always say, brings in more MAGA. This is a statement from President Trump. I want to get your opinion on it. This will come up during our calls.
A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. While the jury
is that true? In your neck of the woods, yes or no? I'm gonna go straight to the comment section in the box. In your neck of the woods, are cars and hotels and rent, are they lower by a lot, as Trump said? Is anybody seeing that? Raptor in the comments says yes. So Raptor, in your neighborhood, rent has went down a lot. I see MAGA React says the same thing. Rent, I would like to know what percentage. Maybe a lot to you means only $10. I would have to know how much has rent went down in your area. Rent has went down. The price of cars has went down a lot. I would love to know where that's happening at, because it makes sense to go there if you want to buy a car. I'm looking to upgrade my own vehicle. Maybe I need to go to a conservative area where car prices have went down a lot. As we said, I see in the comments, somebody says, hell fucking no. A lot. He didn't say they went down and were working on it. He said they went down a lot. So what is the definition of a lot? I guess we'd have to ask. So I'll go straight to the buy. So we'll start out with the handsome conservative. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Have you seen any evidence of what President Trump is suggesting, that the price of automobiles and rent and all that went down a lot?
Rent, no. Automobiles, yes. In Virginia, they have.
But when you say a lot, elaborate on what you mean by a lot.
Well, there's a dealership I used to deal with, and they do like used cars. I don't buy new cars.
Okay.
But used cars, you can go in and put like $1,500 down and drive off and pay around $340 to $400 a month.
Yeah, but that could just be stretching out to note or something. We're talking about the price of the car. The price of the car went down a lot.
Well, it depends on what you get. It depends on the year. But for used cars, I've seen a drop in prices, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
I mean, if you get something like an Escalade or something like that, you're going to pay a little bit more. But used cars, which is what I like to deal with, because, you can get them for a better price. Yeah, they have.
For instance, if a car costs $20,000, a used car, that's nowadays, that's, a 10-year-old car. So car costs $20,000 under Biden. What is it costing now that you've seen them coming down a lot? What would you estimate that $20,000 cost is now?
Well, it depends what you call a lot. For me, it's about $1,500. I'd say it would drop depending on what year, make, and model, obviously. But for like, say, a Kia or like a truck, like just a base truck with AC and cruise control, about 15. About 1,500.
Any idea? I mean, because if it's happening under his watch, I mean, he would have a right to take credit for it, even if he didn't do it. But it's happening under his watch. But any idea what would have caused prices to drop? What has he done that would translate to that happening?
I have no idea. I can only tell you the price has gone down. I mean, usually I watch Newsmax or News Nation. So, I mean, I don't watch Fox or anything like that. I don't know.
Well, shit, Newsmax is further to the right than Fox. I mean, Fox is obviously in the camp for Trump, but Newsmax, I believe, is part of the crew that was saying he won the election too. So Newsmax is, I think they're even further right. Newsmax and OAN, I think, are even further right than Fox.
Oh, well, okay. If you say so, I get the clips from them on YouTube. So,
do they have any liberals on Newsmax at all?
Not that I know of. No. Not that I know of. I thought they were a little more open with their stories. That's why I don't watch Fox and I watch News Nation and Newsmax. You get a little more variety of than like Fox News.
Yeah, but the reason why, because Fox News does still have a few liberals on the program, though. Because you hear Trump, whether we're talking about The View or Stephen Colbert, he's demanding that, people from both sides, or I guess something of that nature, be on these programs. And most of the programs that are favorable to Trump, like Sean Hannity, because they're talking about in broadcast. So they're saying that, if you're on a broadcast network, so that would be television or AM, FM. I think cable news is outside the realm of it, but Sean Hannity's on AM radio. So he would be under the same umbrella from the FCC that Stephen Colbert or The View are on. And he's not, you don't hear the FCC going after Sean Hannity demanding he have liberals on this program. So it's a hit job from the FCC.
You know that message I sent you on YouTube just a little while ago, that super chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to rephrase that 3 times
really?
Before they would let it go in.
Wow.
I tried to tell you, they are editing super chats 3 times, dude. That is crazy.
That's frightening because listen, when Trump came on the scene, you had all this liberal cancel culture that they were alleging all kinds of liberal cancel culture. We know Elon Musk purchased Twitter, turned it to X, suggesting that the liberals were censoring Twitter. The liberals were apparently censoring Zuckerberg through Facebook. And now that these apps and platforms are now starting to be controlled by Trump-friendly people, the censorship is not going away. It just seems like it's for the other side now.
Well, I believe YouTube is owned, and I could be wrong,
by Google, and Google is owned, by Google, and Google is a Trump-friendly guy.
Okay, see, my bad. I was wrong. I was thinking it was a Democratic. Okay, my mistake. Yeah. But no, they censored me 3 times. Listen, who were you talking to on Messenger? Because they brought up a really good point. I've been trying to figure out how to donate or subscribe to your channel on Messenger, since they can you can bring up guests there. I wanted to support you on another platform because I'm going to be leaving TikTok, so I wanted to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, he was talking to me on Instagram. And
Instagram. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, it's the same name across all platforms. I had some liberal on. We're on Substack, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're on Rumble, which is a right platform, and we can go live on Rumble.
I had no problem giving you a sub on Rumble the one time you were on there, but when it comes to Messenger, I can't figure out how to do it. So I'm like, it's weird. I don't know the setup there.
I'm gonna have to figure it out now that I got you two asking about it. I will certainly right after I get off here tonight, I'm gonna look into it. But yeah, Rumble, Truth Social, X. We can go live on X, but I don't know if there's any way to. Once again, on X, I don't know if there's any way to. I know there's a way to support the program. I'm just not aware of how to do it. But X, we're on X as well.
Do you still go live on Rumble?
I haven't, because I couldn't figure out I want viewers to be able to comment. I don't know if you can comment on Rumble. It looks.
I figured that out. I found out. I asked one of the guys that I talked to on Rumble, and he said you have to be a premium subscriber.
So
I
the
don't know what that means.
participant, the person that's calling in, has to be a premium subscriber.
No, the person.
Oh, the host.
doing
The host.
live.
Yeah, the host. Okay.
Yeah. He well, see, it's a little different than YouTube because you get certain features without being a subscriber, like you can turn off your phone and still listen to the show. But to do certain things on Rumble, you have to be a premium subscriber, like YouTube, you know. But that's what he told me. So some things are hidden behind a paywall.
Okay. Well, I'll find out, and I'll find out and get back to you and DenCal momentarily. So anyway, in regards to what we're discussing, though, the Democrats not standing for putting Americans over illegal aliens. What say you?
Easy. Look, it's like you said, it's the same as when Biden was in office. It's a political stunt. If they had stood up and cheered, the Democrat Party would have lost their minds. So I mean, yeah, they sat down. Were they wrong to sit down? Absolutely. Was the black people aren't monkeys sign stupid? Yeah, that was stupid.
Well, you would agree. You would also agree that the premise behind the black people aren't monkeys is also stupid, right? I mean, he posted that sign for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, like it's had they stood up for Trump, you guys would have been losing your mind, or a lot of y'all would have been losing your mind if they had applauded Trump. So they had to sit down.
Well, no, they actually did.
Their party.
I don't know if I agree with you because they did stand up for something else Trump said, and Trump was like, "Wow, I can't believe you stood." They did stand up for something Trump said because he admitted he was shocked.
Tell me what it was.
That didn't cute. I mean, it's a 2-hour speech. I didn't look that part up, but
okay.
I watched it all, and I remember hearing Trump say that. He was like, "Wow, I can't believe they stood up."
Well, as far as it goes, dude, I honestly thought it was a great State of the Union. I had no issues with it at all, except the obvious. You know, the Democrats aren't going to stand for a Republican president. Republicans aren't going to stand for a Democratic president. I mean, other than that, I thought it was a great speech.
Why not? But here's what I don't get. In effort to make America great again, which is what it says on the hat, can we be great while being so divided and having leadership that clearly has no desire to unite us?
Well, no, I'm going to say we can. I want to say yes. I really want to say yes, but I got to agree with you. We're too divided, and we ain't going to come, even if a Democrat wins, which I don't think you guys have thought through. You know, I don't really think you want a Democrat to come in right after Trump.
Bullshit. We don't look if we could get if it was Nikki Haley or Mitt Romney or somebody like that to calm things down, that's one thing. But if we're gonna get J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio and give us more of the same, no, we'll take a bumbling Democrat before that.
The reason I say that isn't to disrespect Democrats. The reason I say that is Democrats have constantly said Trump is wrecking this, Trump is doing that. Now you get rid of Trump and then a Democrat comes in, no Republican's going to care who it is that's president. It's just going to be somebody in the Democratic Party. So they're going to get blamed for everything that goes wrong.
They're not even in power, handsome conservative, and they're getting blamed for everything that's going wrong now. That's just how it works. Trump could be in power for the next. Trump could be in power for 10 more years, and he would still be blaming Democrats for everything that go wrong.
No, I'm not saying Trump's going to be blaming them. I'm saying, let's say one of your Republican people get the presidency, okay? After Trump is taken, voted out, or whatever, and shit goes downhill, they're going to get the blame for that, even though they didn't have anything to do with it. I don't think it's a well thought out plan.
I don't.
That's all I mean.
Yeah, I don't. I gotta disagree with that because look, it don't matter what goes on. I mean, just like if the Democrats had stood for this, putting Americans over illegal aliens, the Republicans would just be criticizing them for doing something else wrong. I mean, that's whether it's what is her name, Ilhan Omar was shouting Trump down. Then we would just be talking about that. They're going to get blamed no matter what. That's how it works.
Funny. That was funny. That was funny.
I think it's horribly disrespectful. I think it's horribly disrespectful to have members of Congress or the Senate shouting the president down.
I'm surprised they didn't do worse. Okay, I'm going to give your party credit because I thought they were going to do way worse. But
70 of them didn't show up.
Yeah, that was a blessing. But listen, I like certain things about it. I know it probably doesn't make your list, but I like the fact that English is now the language of the
what
country.
is that? What the hell does that change? Like in terms of the economy and safety, what making English the national? Have you had problems in America speaking English?
It puts a stop to an argument that's been going for a long time.
What argument?
And whether, I mean, it really has. Like people have said America doesn't have a single language, a national language. Well, now by law we do.
Okay. So the notion that English is now the official language of America, that changes absolutely nothing in the life of the average American. That's just, to me, that's like, I don't know.
I just liked it. I just liked it. I thought it was cool. That's all. I'm like, I'm sorry. That's just me.
Give me something else that actually affects Americans, though.
Price of cars dropping.
Okay.
Rent, actually, now that you mentioned it, rent has gone down. In Gaylord, Michigan now, you can get a 1-bedroom for like $1,000. So rent has gone down.
The cars that don't makes no sense to me. But when you're kicking out millions of people, I can believe that rent, certainly in areas where there were a lot of illegal immigrants, because they got to live somewhere, and they're not all on welfare like a lot of folks on the right believe. A lot of them folks are going out, working at Home Depot somewhere all damn day. They may be living 10 to a house, but they're paying the rent on time. And so when you're kicking out all these folks, my guess is there are some American landlords that are tenantless right now. They got places that nobody live in. So, but I do believe, and that's going to bring down the price of rent.
So it's time for the landlords to bite the bullet for a while. Let them go have to charge less money for the apartment. I'm all for that. Let a Democrat or Republican, I want people to have lower rent. I want people to pay less for housing. I don't know if that's happening, but I'm just saying I want that. Let the landlords, the ones that have been jacking up the rent, take a little off now. That's great. That's great.
I don't know. If I see it,
American people.
If I see, well, it's not going to help all the American people because the folks that actually rent the places out, they are also American and they're not benefiting from it. Just like the right always says, when the Democrats want minimum wage increase or whatever, they go, well, it hurts small business. The small business owners are Americans as well. If you're renting out to them people, that's a business. When I used to own properties and I would rent out to people, that was my business.
The thing about minimum wage is it doesn't really matter how much they raise it, because if you look at the history of it, when they raise the minimum wage, they just raise the prices. So you're really paying the same thing.
I disagree.
And even you got to,
I disagree because they went like 20 years. They didn't raise the minimum wage until the pandemic hit, and they had to do it to encourage people to come back to work. Before that, they went almost 20 years without raising the minimum wage, and guess what happened to the cost of goods and services? It kept going up anyway. So just like when they say, well, if you raise the minimum wage, then they'll just automate everything and find a way to do it without you. They're doing that stuff anyway. Walmart has automated its cashiers and stuff. That stuff happened years ago. And the price of stuff still went up. They fired a bunch of people. They didn't pass anything down to the consumer. You still kept paying more and more. Fuck it, just raise the minimum wage. You're finding ways to charge people more for shit anyway.
Well, in the past couple of years, I've seen, and included when Biden was in office, I've seen people jacking up the prices of goods, and it's progressively gotten worse. So, I mean, yes, the federal minimum wage has not been raised. I believe that's $7.25 an hour. But
no, the state ain't officially. No, the states have not. You can, if you go and look for a minimum wage job, you're probably not going to get paid $7 or $8 an hour. But the actual official minimum wage in many American states is still well under $10 an hour. All of them Bible Belt states, Tennessee, Kentucky, all that shit, their minimum wages are still really low like that.
Well, see, that's funny that you said that, because when I left Virginia, when I moved out of Virginia, Virginia at the time, just a couple of years ago, is still paying federal minimum wage. So, you know, now West Virginia, they paid $13 or $15 an hour. It depends on the state you live in. My point was, take New York. You make so much money an hour, but you're paying so much more for groceries or for rent. West Virginia, it's the same way. The more you make, the more they take. So, I mean, I don't listen. At the end of the day, I don't ever believe there's a good reason for me to be happy with less money. I would rather you give me the raise and leave it up to me to navigate through the higher prices of shit, because I don't have to buy every damn thing. I don't ever believe I'm better off if I just take less money. I will never submit to that. Give me the money and let me figure out if I can afford to buy this or that. I'll think maybe I don't need some of the shit they raise the price of. And maybe when I don't buy it, they'll lower the price of it. You and me both, man. I mean, I shop cheap. I do. I buy used cars. I shop cheap at the grocery store. I'm always hunting for a deal. I'm just saying I've seen the prices go up. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but when you've seen the prices go up when they did not raise minimum wage either. You're seeing it exponentially increase now, because they raised minimum wage significantly, even though they didn't do it officially. People are getting paid a lot more because they waited so long. Like when they were trying to get a $15 an hour minimum wage, everybody was saying, well, burger flippers don't need $15 an hour. It ain't the $15 raise. It's the fact that you've kept it at 7 or 8 for so long that when you do raise it, it's got to be several dollars. Technically, minimum wage should go up probably anywhere between 25 and 50 cents or so per year. But when you go a decade without doing it, you can't just raise it by 50 cents now.
So you want the minimum wage to go up with the prices. When they go up, the minimum wage goes up? Is that what you're saying?
They should, yes. I think they should come up with some type of mathematical table for what inflation is doing and adjust minimum wage according to that. Whatever like for instance, we're talking about cars, we're talking about rent, we're talking about food. Figure out how much a person requires, whatever the poverty level is, which is clearly going up and up and up in terms of you need at least 10,000 to live. Now you need at least 12,000. The minimum wage should be going up with that. It should be going up as well. It shouldn't be staying the same when we know living in poverty requires more and more each year. So the minimum wage should be moving with it.
Well, I respect what you're saying. I do. But I got to be honest with you. I do not believe it's going to happen that way. I haven't seen anything to indicate that that's going to happen. Like you said yourself, the federal minimum wage has not gone up.
Well, it ain't like the Democrats haven't been trying. It's your side. It is your side that is adamantly against paying wages.
Let me ask you that. Let me ask you about that then. You say the Democrats have been trying.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember the Democrats being in power, having the House and having the votes in the Senate and having the White House. Why didn't they raise it then?
Didn't Obama raise it? I'm answering your question. First of all, in liberal states, it is higher. And Obama did raise, I think, didn't he raise the minimum wage to $10.10 for federal employees? They did do it.
I'm not talking about federal employees. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about a federal minimum wage has not been raised since Republicans or Democrats have had power. So my question is, if Democrats are for raising the minimum wage, why haven't they done it? They've had the opportunity.
From based on what I'm telling you, in Democrat states, the minimum wage is higher. They are doing that. In areas where there's no Republican interference, minimum wage is higher than it is in areas where there's no Democrat interference.
I agree with you.
So
but
what are
you're
you
not
saying?
hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying when they were in power, why did they not raise it federally? They had the votes to do it. If they were really for it, if they were really wanting to do it, they've had the opportunity to vote it in. They had the opportunity. They had the votes. They had the White House, the Senate, the Congress. Why didn't they do it?
Well, first of all,
I understand why Republicans didn't do it, but why didn't the Democrats?
Well, first of all, you got Democrats like under Biden, for instance, people like Joe Manchin and Sinema. I don't know, for instance, because Obama clearly wanted to do it. I mean, there's no denying that Obama was making the attempt at the federal level. So I don't know if he had some Democrat senators shoot it down. But I do know he rose it for who he could raise it for. Not only did he raise the minimum wage for who he could, he also passed a law that Republicans shot down, which said that if you work over, what was it? The difference between salary and overtime. For you to be put on salary, you had to make at least $45,000 a year. And he gave the example of how Taco Bell could put a team leader on salary and that's only making 20-some thousand a year, and then they could work them a bunch of hours to the point where the person is actually making less than minimum wage. So he passed a law that said if you got to be making at least 40-some thousand before they could put you on salary. The Republicans came along and shot that down. So it's your side that is fighting to keep wages low for the average working man.
Right, and
why?
I understand.
Why?
I wish I could tell you. I don't have all the answers, but I can tell you this: I have seen both parties in power, and I have seen both parties have the votes to pass a higher federal minimum wage for everybody. Now, I know why the Republicans didn't do it, because they want to keep prices down. That's what they say. But what I don't understand is I'm asking why the Democrats, when they had the opportunity and the voting power to do it, why did they not do it?
Yeah, I gotta move it on for time, obviously, but that's something I'd have to look into, because it's pretty clear Obama wanted to do it. And he had to obviously meet some resistance, because like I said, he did it for federal employees. Why did he not lower it federally overall? He had to meet some resistance. That's all I can tell you for now. I'll figure out and find out.
All right, respect. I understand. Support your local liberal, man, and thanks for the time.
Appreciate it, man. Anytime. Thank you, handsome conservative. Moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Get low. Maybe that's what it is. You guys smash that like button. Does the program suck that much today? Tap the damn screen, get the likes up. We're MAGA friendly. We don't censor. You know how the program is ran. You don't have to worry about anybody talking down to you for your political opinion. God damn it. Tap the screen, get the likes on up.
No one who works full-time should have to live in poverty, and raise the federal minimum wage to $9 an hour.
Even back then, look at that. I think that was Boehner. Look, this is Obama's State of the Union address in 2013. And you got Biden behind him as VP. I think that was Boehner not standing. He is not standing.
Let's declare that in the wealthiest nation on earth, no one who works full-time should have to live in poverty, and raise the federal minimum wage to $9 an hour. We should be able to get that done.
So that's his State of the Union back in 2013. So yeah, Obama clearly wanted to raise the minimum wage. It's just, I'd have to look into it and find out where the resistance happened. So, I mean, he obviously, just like with Obamacare and things like that, the Republicans, they always say, well, the Democrats Trump could cure cancer. That's what's been happening, period. That ain't something unique with Trump, that he could cure cancer and all of a sudden the Democrats would hate him. People been doing that to the presidents before Trump. Why the hell would you why would you be against raising the minimum wage? People got their own reason. Anyway, tap the screen, get us on up to 30,000. Looking in the comments, colonizers resisted, says MDJ. Going back to the box, we'll make it happen. What am I looking at there? What the hell is that? Okay, we got to see. Tap the screen, get the lights up. What is the name there? Gangster Grandma?
Yes, look at you. You're my profile pic.
What the fuck is that?
Ruckus? That's you. With your cornball looking ass. Don't you like it?
No, I don't. That looks horrible. That looks like something that the...
Well, that's you after drinking all the uncooked protein.
Did you see the state of
everything.
Did you see the address yesterday?
No, I didn't see it. I heard it, and it was horrible.
My last caller.
It was horrible.
My last caller said it was great. What was so horrible about it?
Really?
Yeah.
He's not dead.
What the fuck does that mean? Why?
It would have been a great time if they came out and said he unalived himself. You feel what I'm saying?
No, it would not. Versace, thank you for that support. And by the way, who just did that Viking? Was that you, Gangsta Grandma, with the Viking helmet?
That's my baby that just gifted me. I tell you, I love.
Wow, look at you.
So ugly ass.
Look at you. So what was so bad about that speech?
His whole, come on now, just him being there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he just talked on, but nothing. Every 5 seconds, he was lying.
Yeah.
That motherfucker cornball was lying on everything. Damn, he couldn't tell the truth if it slapped him in his nuts. He don't even have no nuts.
Mike the Boss, give me 3 lies you suggest that Trump told. Mike, appreciate
The economy's good.
Bro,
What economy's good at?
I just had 2 callers that suggest that rent is cheap, car prices are down. Maybe the economy is good.
What they say it was?
Rent. I got Straight Talk says rent has went down 1.7%.
Straight Talk is so special ed dropout. His mama inbred him with his own brother. Because who in the name of God would name your kid Straight Talk? Then he comes up here acting like he knows it all, like he's a smart little ass cookie, and he's a dumb fuck from hell.
Gangsta.
That motherfucker don't know shit from Cheyenne, and you know another thing is he's drinking too much of the white T-man's Kool-Aid. That motherfucker don't know what rent alone is over $2,000 in a lot of places. Come to Cali, you won't get nothing under $2,000.
But even if it's not under 2,000, it could still have went down. He said only 1.7%. So maybe it went down some.
Straight Talk, get off your fucking knees for the white man. Oh, I forgot you're white.
He is a white guy.
Well, you know what, dude? Come and suck on something that's chocolate. You might get some good brain cells going again. Because, honey, what you're sucking on, you lost your fucking mind. How about that?
What about what Trucker Jim says 401ks are up? Maybe the economy is better.
The 401ks are not up. They wasn't like the good ones when Biden was in office. Okay? And let me tell you something else. These motherfuckers say, oh, the gas is down. The gas is down. What? It's a little bit down? Who the fuck cares? Our rent is sky high. Our light bills are sky high. What else is sky high? The food is sky high. The only thing that the courts did is said slap down the damn tariffs. That's why he's in his damn feelings. Because when the tariffs got slapped down, his whole shit went to
Why
hell.
would you suggest that nobody cares about gas? If Trump is bringing down the gas prices, that's a good thing for anybody who drives a damn car. What are you talking about?
I'd rather pay $20.
Why?
Gas.
That sounds crazy.
Because the rent is sky high, the car insurances are sky high, everything else is sky high. What the hell are you talking about? Oh my God, the utility bills are sky high.
For someone like myself who drives for a living almost 100 miles a
Someone
day.
like yourself, look at the picture. Don't you look beautiful with no teeth and shit? The uncooked protein is really messing with you, uncooked. Like you forgot your black, huh? Get off your knees. I got knee pads for you.
Okay, you're making special profile pictures for somebody who.
Yeah, I sure am.
Okay.
Doesn't it look beautiful? I tell you, you Uncle Ruckus.
What about what Raptor is stating that maybe it ain't Trump you should be blaming, but maybe it's Gavin Newsom, your governor, for how much your gas prices
Gavin
cost?
Newsom. Oh my God, I love me some Gavin Newsom. For one, that white boy looks cute. Two, yeah.
What about what he's doing for the damn country, for his
He's
state?
killing it for us. We are the fourth largest economy in the world. What are you talking about, Willis? And we have a GDP, and we support the red states, Pookie. Okay, we're not broke, unlike the red states.
I'm just saying, like what Trucker Jim says, maybe you need to thank Gavin
That's
Newsom.
the only white boy I would fuck if I ever had to.
Maybe you
He's fine as shit. I ain't gonna lie.
could you put your hormones away and pay attention to the actual economy? What about
You pay attention? Because I know what my economy is. It's so screwed up. You're the one that's licking Melania's coochie saying it's good and it looks like roast beef on crack.
Well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with Melania. She looks fine.
Yeah, she's tore up on the floor, all plastic. Okay? Her legs are wide open like the board is. Everybody's running through it. Because she don't got no more walls.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Melania Trump has been with the same man for 20 some odd years. What's wrong
You
with
know
that?
what? He analyzed a couple of them, buried a couple of them, and he probably, raped her ass, and she probably was one of those women. How about that? An Epstein file list. Yeah, let's go there, Pookie. Okay.
I think you're
You
being.
might met him right along with Epstein. Yeah.
I think you're just being deliberately disrespectful.
I think I'm on the right side and your ass is on the white side, thinking you're gonna get you a couple of crumbs, okay? You Uncle fucking Ruckus.
Why do you hate white people so much? They've done nothing to you.
See, this is what you believe. I hate white people. I hate
White people.
the maggots. Okay? I don't give a damn what color they is. Green, black, I hate them. Now my allies, the ones out there on the streets now and stuff, I don't hate them. I give them props because they're doing their white privilege to help us. I don't hate them.
I don't know. I got a whole lot of callers that say you sound like a straight up
I don't
racist.
give a damn. They're on their knees for the white man thinking that they...
See, you keep saying the white. Why do you keep
Because
saying?
they are white tea. Okay, shut up. you
Is that
fatty-
all you see is skin
Shut
color?
up, Fatty Raccoonie. I got it damn right nice again.
Is that all you see is skin color?
Well, they see the only thing I did. That's why they want everybody out brown and black.
No, that
You
is.
know that. See, why don't you come with the same hostility you come for me? Why don't you come for them? Why don't you tell, like, straight talk? Why are they coming for black and brown people only? Why did they not kicking out the white tea people that came over here with the visas expired? Why did they not kicking their ass? No, you shut the fuck up, Negro. Okay?
What the
yeah,
fuck?
you shut the fuck up, Negro. And why don't you tell them that? Why don't you tell them that? Oh no, you won't. Oh, you said yes, master. You let them talk all the yang shit, let them spew all their misinformation and everything else. But when I get up here and I say white people, oh, you're so prejudiced. I don't suck on a white man's cock like you do. I suck chocolate ding-a-ling. Thank you.
Why are you so angry?
Why am I so fucking angry? I'm not angry. I'm pissed the fuck off.
What's the difference? What's the
Because
difference?
my people is getting deported and they don't do nothing wrong. The white tea men are the ones that are raping our kids. The white tea men are the ones on the Epstein files.
Are your people, speaking of that, are your people in this nation legally?
You don't have to be legally.
Okay then.
You dumb fuck.
So what's wrong?
You're deporting United States citizens.
What's wrong
And
with?
what?
No, I want you.
And what?
I want you to answer this. What's wrong with America protecting its borders and making sure we know who the hell's in the
What
country?
We do need to protect our borders. Send the white tea people out. They're the ones that are doing this shit. How about that?
No, it's your people.
The white tea man, and this is scientifically proven and it's statistically proven, okay? The white tea man is the most dangerous man on the United States. They are.
That's just
Yes, it is.
opinion.
Go look it up.
That's
Go look
just
it up.
a. Let me.
No, it's not an
okay.
opinion. Those are facts.
Let me ask
Those
you.
are facts.
Let me ask it to you this way. Are
Those
you?
facts. Yeah, you got so much white cum coming out your dripping from your neck and your balls and everything else because your ass is so white tea. You just want to be white tea so bad, but they'll lynch your ass. They'll lynch you before
What
they
the
put you to
fuck?
the table.
Let me ask you, are you suggesting that there are more whites in this country illegally than Hispanics?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What?
They come over, they fly over the visas. Yes. It's statistically known. Yep. Go look at it. Go look at it.
I
Go
don't.
look at it. Yep.
I don't.
But you don't see them get deported, do you? Nope. You only see black and brown people. Like he said, we poison the blood, huh? But yeah, your white tea women come for our chocolate dicks, though, don't they? Yep.
So the Hispanics can literally walk here, and the whites have to fly. But there's more whites here than Hispanics. You
Go
believe
look it
that?
up. Go look it up. Look it up.
You sound.
Numbers don't lie.
I think you're misinformed.
I think your ass is missing from you. Take it up the ass. Go look it up. Go do some research. Google's free.
And I see Nana said,
If they're gonna do some real shit, yes, it is true. If they're gonna do some real shit and you're gonna do some real numbers, go look this shit up. There's more people in the United States that are white has the damn what do you call visas that expired. Go look at the shit up.
and I see Nana in the comments says, "Damn, she was going to make me go research that, and you're gonna find out she don't know what she's talking about."
And the white tea man is the most dangerous of them all. Go look it up.
What the hell are you talking about? Most dangerous? Based on what?
FBI statistics, Pookie, Ray. Get the cock out your mouth.
How about this? Alter Ego states 75% of undocumented in the United States are Latino. What about that? That's 75%. That is most of them.
You know what, Tim? You're so right for the white man. You're so right for, but they'll put you in a tree faster than anybody else will. They hate us black and brown folks. They do. They don't want the white women to come for our black and brown.
They took Gangsta Grandma down. It happens. Unfortunately, I can't control the apps. We don't censor. We don't black ban or censor anyone. But unfortunately, TikTok does, and they took Gangsta Grandma down. So we'll move on. Gangsta Grandma's always invited back to the program. We don't block ban or censor anyone. If you're on the right and you're the same way, it is what it is. We don't censor. Rottweiler said someone reported her. Some folks are saying, thank God. What does that say? Too much talking about cock, says Debo. Hopefully she's talking about roosters. You know, get up in the morning, cock-a-doo. Anyway, we'll continue on with the program. Wow, I cannot believe that. But let me go back to the box. We'll go to Mike the Boss. What does that say here? Oh, I went to straight talk.
She works very hard to get kicked off. I have never seen a harder working woman, either at the truck stop or when she comes on here getting to get kicked off of this platform. So, and I want to remind Democrats, that's who you go and pull the lever with. She's aligned with you. Just want to remind you of that. So in case you're wondering, that's who subscribes to your way of thinking.
Well, understand that Marjorie Taylor Greene showed Hunter Biden's dick on the House floor. I mean, should we vote with her?
No, and neither. No one should.
All right.
No one should.
And there you go.
I mean, you guys tried to convince me for a very long time that Marjorie Taylor Greene was absolutely insane. I am convinced. We got together on that.
Yeah, because now she's on. Well, President Trump says a lot of crazy shit too. We shouldn't go vote for him either. He says a bunch of crazy shit.
No, you shouldn't. He does not align with your worldview.
Well, I don't.
Absolutely should not. I, on the other hand, he aligns perfectly with my worldview. I enjoyed the State of the Union address. I thought it was freaking amazing, and I took the liberty of pulling up heckles for Reagan, Carter, Nixon, Clinton, Bush. I mean, which would you? Every president gets heckled.
Well, if you are correct, then folks on the right who are making it sound like the Democrats are wrong for heckling Trump.
Crybabies.
Yeah, they have no case there.
The president can hold his own. He leaned into it and said, "You're sick people," and pointed at the left. And I cheered.
Okay, well, while you were cheering, so let me ask you the same question I asked my other conservative caller. Is it possible?
Your rhino caller. Handsome conservative is no conservative. He needs to change his name to something else. But go ahead.
Wait. Why is he not a conservative?
He is neither handsome nor is he conservative.
Why are you saying he's not conservative?
Because you are able to bend him into a pretzel. He'll say whatever it is
Oh,
to
shit.
get on your good side.
No.
Listen, the good thing about Gangster Granny, if there is one, is that to her, you're Uncle Ruckus. I had to look up who the fuck Uncle Ruckus was. I was so concerned. I was so like, I was like, damn. So I had to go and look up who the fuck was Uncle Ruckus, and I finally found out who it was.
Oh my
Fantastic.
God. Okay. Let me just say this. The problem is your side has become so intolerant to dissenting opinion that anybody that does becomes a rhino. People who have been conservative their entire fucking lives disagree with Trump on one thing and suddenly they're a rhino.
Jim, no. When you deviate from conservative thought, you are no longer conservative.
Every party deviates. George W. Bush talked about immigrants do jobs no Americans want. Ronald Reagan gave thousands of them amnesty. So obviously Trump is deviated from what you guys used to think.
Well, yes, our view of the world has evolved. I'll agree with that.
Okay.
We are not globalists anymore. Our leadership is not globalist. Just you guys mentioned it at the beginning of this. It is very important. I took very close note to those countries that are stopping us from using their airspace if we should attack Iran.
Right.
And that's a very important thing to notice because allies that works two ways.
Okay.
So if I'm your friend, you say I'm your friend, and I say I'm your friend, you put up or you shut up.
Bullshit. Look, hell
When
no.
you work against me, you are no longer my friend.
Bullshit. We could be lifelong friends. I'm sitting there eating cereal on the fucking couch. Can I use your car? I'm about to go hit a lick. No. You can't use my car to go rob somebody. No, if you're doing something, hold on. If you're doing something wrong, if you're doing something wrong, you're not using my airspace. No.
Okay, we're not allied in that, and that's fine. And by the way, when you call on me because you need some money and I couldn't hit that lick, don't
Did you go look up what hitting the lick is?
I know what hitting a lick is. I
No.
know what hitting a lick is.
No, so-
what I'm saying to you is do not come to me for help when I have already come to me. You went out of your way to make sure that I could not use it. By the way, they only did that because we don't need their airspace. Can I tell you that? We've got more than we need sitting right outside in the Persian Gulf.
Do we have any bases in Europe that might have been used to take off from, go launch the strike, and come back and refuel?
If you think that we would pay any attention whatsoever to them saying, hey, you can't use your bases or use your equipment in those bases, you are sadly mistaken.
So in other words, basically, we are not a friend to these people. We're basically like, fuck you. We're going to do whatever we want, even if it's using your airspace.
We are a friend to them as long as, the same way with us. They are friends to us when it benefits them. That's what we're trying to expose here, Tim.
No, you're not.
When it benefits them, we are their ally. When it becomes a little hot, they run like scalded dogs, and we are exposing that right now.
Yeah, but straight talk, it's going to become a little hot when one of your friends likes to go around starting wars with people. Notice how most of the European Union nations, other than World War II, they have not been getting in conflicts. It's always us. Every single time. It is always us. Why is that?
Why is that? Oh, okay, I'll tell you. Because they refuse to spend even 2% of their budget to be able to defend themselves. That's why.
That ain't what I'm saying.
They don't have the ability to stop.
That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, why are they never getting hit? It's always us complaining about somebody is a threat to us. You don't hear Germany or France saying somebody's going to come kill us. It's always America suggesting that somebody's trying to get them.
Excuse me. You obviously have never lived in those countries. They are constantly having terrorist attacks. France, Germany, all of those.
That ain't what I'm talking about. A terrorist attack.
What do you mean they're not getting hit? Please explain yourself.
Okay, let me explain myself. Saying that we had a terrorist attack in our country is different than saying some sovereign nation is responsible for it. America is blaming sovereign nations for their problems. Cuba right now, Iran, Panama, Greenland. You know, they're in fucking Nigeria. America blames whole sovereign. You don't hear European nations ever saying a sovereign nation is responsible for what happened to us. We need something to be done to the whole country.
Yeah, they are not consumer nations. Their economy is a fraction of ours.
And
We are listen, like it or not, we are the big boy on the block. I know you guys hate to hear that. It's the truth.
it ain't the big.
So,
it ain't the. It
we
ain't
are
the.
the world's
you know.
police. When
There you go.
Germany says-
There you go.
Listen,
That's what it
yeah,
is.
We are the world, and if we weren't, what would happen?
A lot of
What would
nations.
happen if we stepped out?
If we stepped out as the world's police, I think there's a whole lot of nations on earth that would be doing much better because as the world's
Are you
police,
serious?
yes.
India and Pakistan would have blown one another up with weapons.
I don't buy that 8 war
Are
shit.
you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I don't buy. What did Trump do for either one of those
I want
nations?
you to look up Kashmir.
Hold on. Hang on.
When you're done here, look up Kashmir and find out how fast or how close we came to not having either of those two countries.
Blue One Banks, appreciate it. What did Trump do to get these nations to all stand down? Because he's doing terrible with Russia and the Ukraine. What did he do to get 8 nations to cooperate?
All right. He basically told them, listen, you're not going to be selling any goods into the United States. The United States government is the largest consumer on the planet, the single largest consumer on the planet, not the people. Our government is the largest purchaser on the planet. So when the president picks up the phone and says, hey, listen, Modi, you are not going to have a trade deal with the United States of America, your largest trading partner by far, if you keep fucking with Pakistan like you are. And excuse me, Prime Minister of Pakistan, stop egging this dude on or you're never going to trade with the United States again. That gets people's attention. And that ain't Trump saying that. That's Modi. That's the Prime Minister of Pakistan saying that. That's Azerbaijan saying that. And Turkey's Prime Minister saying that.
Yet both nations, India and Pakistan, have publicly stated Trump didn't have shit to do with them obtaining peace. Both of them have denied Trump's claim.
That is not true.
That is. You don't hear them.
Damn, I just told you. You watched the press conference where he said it in front of them and they acknowledged the president. They acknowledged him again during his UN speech. Look, you can wish it away all you want.
Okay.
It's not true.
You
tell me what stopped it then. Tell me, go ahead.
I don't believe they were about to go to war. And I'll tell you this,
They have been at one another's throats for dozens of years.
And they still are. Just like Gaza, the Palestinians. The Palestinians, another war he's taking credit for ending. The Palestinians and Israelis, they're still at each other's throats. That ain't ended.
That has been going on for 2,000 years.
But he's claiming he ended it.
Yes, he's ended the hostilities. He got all of the hostages, dead and alive, back for the state of Israel. That's true, 100% true.
Right.
And you got a problem with that too, I suppose. I don't know what the problem is with that.
I got a problem with what he's claiming. I don't believe the claims are accurate, straight talk. That's what I got a problem with.
You know why? Because they come from him, and you don't listen to Bibi Netanyahu. You don't listen to the Gazans, the Palestinians saying, "Hey, we're hungry," and they came and fed us. You don't listen to any of that.
Listen, last I heard, you had people on the world stage trying to get food into Gaza, and the Israelis and Americans are stopping the food from coming there. So they decided, we'll give you.
Yeah, they blamed that. Yeah, for sure.
Even that little girl, Greta Thunberg, got taken into custody trying to bring food to them.
Because she tried to. Little girl, she's 28 years old.
Whatever. They prevented them from bringing food.
Yeah. That's what they did. That's what they were trying to do. So, but this is what I'm talking about. You're listening to some crazy ass news. Now, let me ask you a question.
Well, hold on. Let me before you speak, let's be clear that for my viewers that don't know you or haven't heard me, the reason we have such a difference of opinion on President Trump is because you have stated you've never heard him lie once. You've never
That's
heard
correct.
Trump tell a lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
To this day. Yeah. Because you fail to understand the difference between lying, knowingly giving false information, and being wrong. And you won't admit that. You won't admit that the president can be wrong about something and you're still going to call him a liar.
No.
You won't admit that. You think that every time you open your mouth and you give out wrong information, that you're lying. When, in fact, you may not have known that that information was wrong at all. Go ahead.
I don't know what to do but laugh at that. When you go on campaign,
Yeah, because every time you've been wrong in your life, you've been lying. Is that right? Is that what you're telling us all?
if
You
I
can't be wrong. You're just a liar.
No, I understand the point you're trying to make. Here's what I mean. When you go up there and talk about how awful electric vehicles are, the range, the horsepower, and say all this negative shit about it, and then you're on the White House lawn once Elon gives you money telling people to buy it, and then when you and Elon break up, you're not telling people not to buy it. You're lying about something.
No, you're not.
Oh my
No, you're
God.
not. What if you're saying overall that and he didn't say electric vehicles are bad. He was talking about specific electric
Okay.
vehicles.
All right.
He was not talking about trying to when he bought a Tesla from Elon, he's actually trying to help someone who helped him.
Right.
He's trying to get
After saying how horrible the
If you have
vehicles,
electric-
after telling the American public how horrible the vehicles are, now that he don't gave you some money, you gonna sell out your own beliefs to get because you got the money.
Tim,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. You have a preference, Skippy or Jif?
No, I haven't had peanut butter in years.
Crunchy or smooth?
I prefer
preference?
crunchy.
Okay. And if you told me, hey, crunchy is way better, but I came up with smooth, you would probably say, yeah, fuck you in the smooth. What I like is crunchy peanut butter. That's what the president is doing here when he talks about electric vehicles. He's saying, look, the Chinese vehicles that are being put, a lot of them find their ways to a hole in Argentina. They're massive amounts. They're trash. And he doesn't want them in the United States.
So when he
And
said he never met Stormy Daniels, that was him choosing crunchy?
I don't know whether he's met Stormy Daniels or not.
He said he hadn't met her before.
Okay, I'll take him for his word.
That's why he lied to you, because you're just taking him for his word.
No,
That's
no,
why
do
he's
you
never
have-
told a lie.
Wait. Do you have a picture of them together? Do
No.
you know that he...
No, but
Do you...
she presented a picture of them together after he said
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Did you see a picture of the two of them together?
Yes, she produced it.
And the president said, I never met Stormy Daniels. Is it possible that he's met millions of people in his lifetime and was wrong about meeting Stormy Daniels?
I don't forget a porn star that gave me some pussy, straight talk.
Okay, maybe that.
I'm not gonna forget
maybe
that.
She has a picture. Did she show you a picture of her giving him pussy?
No, but she described his dick.
And you've seen his dick? You have something to compare that to?
No.
Are you holding out on me? Why are you looking at the president's dick?
I'll tell you this. You make a compelling argument for why you don't believe he's lied. The bar for you is so high, I can understand why he hasn't lied in your
Not
opinion.
high at all.
Yeah,
No,
it
it's
is.
not high. No, it isn't. If you can show me that the president knew what he was saying was wrong, that's a lie.
So let me ask you this then. Why would he have her sign a non-disclosure agreement? Somebody you never met, why would she? Because he was talking about, I got a letter that says I never slept with Trump.
No, it's a great question. It's a great question. You do that because people that have lots of money and lots of to lose, a lot of times they will not want to mess with you in court, because you see what happened with E. Jean Carroll. That lying bitch got a ton of money from
Right.
the president. She
So
didn't deserve.
So Trump loses.
He never did what she said. And so there's a danger that you're going to run into a jury that's just going to hand your money off.
That makes sense if you weren't talking about Trump. Trump, the guy who lost a $5 million defamation suit to E. Jean Carroll you brought up, still continued talking shit, and now it turned into $88 million. I'm supposed to believe that a guy who lost a defamation suit and then defamed her again would pay off Stormy Daniels to keep her quiet. He ain't the kind of guy that pays people off. I don't believe he would pay somebody off. No, he's not.
Listen. It depends on the circumstances. Maybe he did not at the time. He was running for president at the time, and maybe at the time you caught me I'm not in that mood. And by the way, this whole thing with the minimum wage, there should be no minimum wage. You have absolutely no right to tell someone what they must charge for their labor. Screw you. If I need money and I'm willing to dig a hole for $50, there should be no minimum. I could come by and do it for $25. Fuck you and saying that I have to give my labor or I have to price myself out of doing work. Screw you for that.
That's cute. Let me tell you why I believe there should be a minimum wage. Is because it is a threat to financial security of the nation. This is what I'm talking about. If you allow corporations to hire people with no minimum wage, the fact is those people still need somewhere to live. They still need to eat.
Yes.
So what they end up doing, and this is what was happening at places like Walmart. Hold on, let me finish the statement. This is what was happening in places like Walmart. You got employees that ain't being paid shit, and Walmart is advising them on how to apply for food stamps and things like that. So what happens is you're allowing the employer to pay them whatever low, meager wages they want to, and you're causing the citizens, by way of taxpayer dollars, to subsidize these folks. So they need to eat. They need to survive.
That's why you vote for these people. That's why you keep voting. I want everyone listening to hear what he just said. That you will not penalize Walmart for paying people so little that they must go on social programs. Listen, this is why you lose.
That makes no sense.
Let me explain to you.
Please do. That didn't make any sense.
You've got a company like Walmart that you are perfectly fine with hiring people and paying them so little so they can put themselves.
No, that's what you said. I said there should be I said there should be a minimum wage. That way Walmart couldn't do that.
That's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. Because if I were president, Walmart would pay all the fucking taxes. They would pay the highest rate I could muster for doing that.
But you said
Here's what
you just said they're gonna pay all that. You just said all that about paying taxes at the same. Fuck me for just asking for a minimum wage increase. Are you for real?
Yes, because you only want a minimum wage. I'm gonna give you better than that. Listen, now I really need you to put your listening ears on, because this is about incentives. This is what
it's about insanity. Insanity.
You don't even know what I'm going to say.
I know, but I see you wearing a straitjacket, so I know you're going to say some crazy shit. Go ahead.
You have never seen me in a straitjacket.
You're wearing one now. You just think it happens to be a Levi's.
I know you don't want me to say what I'm about to say.
I'm going to let you say it. Zero censorship. Go ahead. I'm going to open up a can of soda while you're saying it. Go ahead.
I want you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you.
Sure.
You go into an area, a local area, and you say to those businesses, if you pay 130% of the mean wages, the median wage in this area, we're going to give you a tax break. Your tax breaks are going to be based on how much above the wage, the average wage, is you're paying. If you pay 150% of that amount, we are going to charge you less in taxes. In other words, you incentivize the businesses in that local area. They will raise their wages to meet that criteria and pay less in taxes.
They'll just lobby to a politician and get your ass voted out. That's what they will do.
And why? Okay, but 100% the reason to do it. 100% 100% the reason to do it, because you're going to get higher wages. If you pay someone 180% of the average wage in that area, you pay no federal income taxes, because the federal government will make that up in personal income taxes, because those people will be paid higher wages.
I think you're crazy. I got to go for time.
That's
we
why
disagree.
you keep voting for these Democrats like Al Green, who Pimp Daddy shows himself again. I love Al. I hope they never stop voting for that guy.
Straight talk, I'm not going to vote for a side that thinks posting pictures of me as a monkey is comedy. It ain't going to happen.
No.
It ain't going to
Listen,
happen.
I'm with you on that. I am with you on that.
Okay, then.
Absolutely. That is a cell phone, but I don't understand what made
Give me
him.
another option. But once somebody says that putting pictures up as people that look like me are
That
monkeys,
is not a reason not to vote for
bullshit. Give me another option.
For you, it is.
Right.
I'm just saying that is not a self-limit. Listen, if you post a picture of me as a polar bear, because I am whiter than you are black. How about that? I am whiter than sour cream.
There's no history behind calling white people polar bears. Straight talk, I gotta go. People have been hung behind calling African Americans these names. You don't have any violent history behind being a polar bear. It's not the same.
No, I don't disagree with that. All I'm saying is that's not how I base my who I vote for. I base that on my self-interest, my family safety, and my financial self-interest.
And I don't trust anybody that thinks it's funny to post pictures of me as a monkey as somebody that cares about my safety. I gotta go. We'll talk about it next time.
You have a great rest of your week.
You too. Appreciate it. All right, moving on with the program. That was Straight Talk, folks. I know a lot of folks disagree with Straight Talk, but I know a lot of my beloved MAGA favorite Straight Talk. Like I said, we don't block banners, censor. We come from all directions politically. So understand that. You're not going to always hear folks speaking on your side of the aisle, but that's how zero censorship works. I'm going to need you guys to tap the screen. Certainly if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button, get the likes on up. Certainly on TikTok as well. Get us up to about 60,000. The right knows I am right. Straight Talk, probably. Because the right does think posting pictures of African Americans as monkeys is comedy. A lot of folks on the right do believe that. So the right has a difference of opinion on that. I don't, to me, once you do that, that kind of disqualifies you. Just like I said before about Trump didn't do that bad in his first term. I didn't see his first term that bad. But the minute he started talking about, if you reelect me, I'll give police immunity in liberal cities, that was it. Once he started talking about giving police immunity, that was it. The second term was a disqualifier. And of course, now he's in there and he's posting pictures of people looking like apes. I don't need to know anymore. I think I've heard enough. Looking in the comments, though, let me make sure I ended up getting there we go. And I see in the comments, another one of my Uncle Ruckus folks, something Harry. Good evening to you, Harry. Real quick, tap the screen, get the likes on up. I'm certainly on YouTube. Smash that like button if you're watching on TikTok. Happen to be watching us on Substack. Follow the program, by the way, folks. We're here most weekdays. If you're currently watching us on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, go ahead and give us a follow. Do the program a solid. And if you're watching on YouTube, give us a sub. Straight Talk voice is too high in the ass for me to take him seriously, says OG Kush. Damn, OG. Damn, OG Kush. Debating the minimum wage and its impact on the economy. Share your opinion, says AI. Yeah, we were debating it. I don't know why the right is against that stuff. They're not just against minimum wage increase. They're also against unionization. So the employees unionize and they're against that. I mean, you heard Trump say Juneteenth, we got too many holidays, so I guess you want to limit the holiday. Why are we against the little man so damn much? I never could understand that. Why are they against that like that? I have a problem with my vocal cords. I am working on it. Straight Talk, you're passionate in your commentary. That's how it works. Mike, the boss. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program. Mike, good evening.
What up, man?
Did you? I'm assuming you saw the SOTU. What the fuck am I looking?
Yes.
The State of the Union. My mind, I'm drawing blanks after my last guess. Did you watch it in its entirety?
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't watch it in its entirety. I watched most of it, but I understand why you would feel that way after your last guest. That's some hard shit to recover from. You need to take intermissions after that. Go to the bathroom, get some water. I mean, you just gotta take a break after all that bullshit that you hear. Last night was an embarrassment. Last night was an embarrassment that we've never seen at the State of the Union. We've never seen. Let me tell you why. We've never seen a former president ever address the other party and say the things to them that he said to them on either side of the aisle. Never. You have to remember, Tim, you're old enough to remember this. So was Straight Talk, whatever the fuck, Straight Commerce, whatever. We've been alive long enough to know that that's not the decorum at the State of the Union.
It's not.
It's just never
Usually, now Straight Talk suggests that he's seen presidents get heckled going all the way back to Nixon, but I'll take what you said because you don't normally see the president fire back at people like that.
Right. So if you just Google presidential heckling at the State of the Union historically, what will come up again when you just heckle it? I mean, when you just Google it, it goes 2020, 2009, 2022, 2023, and then obviously, what we've been seeing. So, but this all started with Donald Trump. Everything shifted when he got involved. Everything.
Well, yeah, but and that's why because of what I just said. I mean, presidents, look, if you're governing a nation of 300 and some million people, people are going to dislike you. That's every president in history. People are going to. The difference with Trump is he fires back at the people. So you prolong the bickering and things like that. When you start firing back, people jump into it, and there's more and more. I mean, so yeah, he makes a snowball by doing that.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Straight Talk is in the case. He said, we're going to be different. Yeah, but we don't have to be. You don't have to show your blatant racism and bigotry and hatred. Those aren't attributes that we will want in a president. And he puts them on display every time he opens his mouth. Not sometimes, every time. Let me ask you this, Tim. The man rejected the request to let Jesse Jackson lie in state.
True.
The flags never went to half-mast.
True.
However, you can do all of those things for a social media influencer.
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. So
and by the way, Charlie Kirk is notable for some hellified quotes that are anti-black.
Right. Jesse Jackson has been a civil rights activist for over 60 years. And he doesn't even get flagged at a half staff. But you want to talk about him. That's why I told you when he made that comment about street smarts that it was bullshit.
But what about what MAGA React said? And I already know how I would respond to this, but he's saying that it wasn't Trump, it was Mike Johnson that rejected Jesse Jackson's family's request to let him lie in state.
Well, Mike Johnson is Donald Trump in the administration. Yeah. They're all under the same ideology. Yeah. They all support. Listen, not only did he say it last night since MAGA Reaction wants to, I don't know why you even fuck with me, MAGA Reaction. You might want to just leave me alone. I told you that before. I don't even know why you do this. But did they all not stand up and applaud every vile thing he said last night?
No, they didn't think it was vile. And by the way, real quick, in regards to lowering the flags to half-mast, you don't need Mike Johnson. Trump could have done that. Trump could have lowered the flags for half-mast. So that ain't.
Mike Johnson didn't sign off for what they did for CK. You think he signed off on it,
right?
Or they just did it?
Right.
I mean, come on, you guys. Listen. At the end of the day, when you show no integrity, you show no credibility. And when you show no integrity, you show no credibility. How can you have a conversation with me and I was listening, Straight Commerce said that he has all these examples. You will not find an example for this country where a president sat up there and called the other side of the aisle and pointed at them lunatics and insane and crazy. You won't find that with anyone else.
That is true. And he did say that these people are crazy. Like I said, that's what makes Trump different from all the other presidents is he heckles it. And by the way, not only does he fire back, because MAGA always says, well, he punches back 10 times. No, he actually is offensive too. Sometimes he attacks when nobody's attacking him. He just, like what he did with the protesters dumping shit on them and, You know, I mean, Hakeem Jeffries with the sombrero, and obviously Obama as apes. The Obamas weren't saying any damn thing about Trump, and he just came out of the blue. In fact, Kamala Harris, a lot of them weren't talking about Trump at all. He just attacked a whole bunch of people. So he just attacks sometimes on his own.
Listen, he does it mainly on his own. He sat up there and lied the entire night. Tim, how can you drop prices by 500, 600, 700%? How can you?
By being very generous, Mike. If you 500, that means you're going to give them 5 times the cost of that item.
So, but again, if something costs $100 and I drop the price by 100%, what is it at that point, Tim?
Free.
So what? So if it's 500%,
you're going to give them 5 times the cost of what they showed up to buy.
But these motherfuckers, like Straight Commerce and them, I thought it was great because you're okay with the fuckery. He lies to you and you accept it as if it's just part of who you are. The hell with him. See, I'm going to say it again. You accept his lies like it's a part of who you are.
Wow.
You accept it as a foundation of what you believe in.
Well, but that's one of the things I do give President Trump credit for is that he can say things, at least for MAGA in particular, that do not require proof, like the Venezuelan drug boats or they're eating cats and dogs. He don't have to prove stuff. That's why January 6th happened. Them folks showed up only 2 months after the election while they were still investigating it. And they acted like that solely based on what Trump was saying. If you had asked any January 6th participant only 2 months after the election, why are you here acting like this? You ain't seen shit. You're going by what he told you. That's the only reason why you would be here. It's only been 2 months since the alleged theft of the election. You ain't seen no proof that close, and they were acting like that.
And some of them were willing to go to prison for something that they could not even prove. Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy how they just will not take a second. And I told you this before, Tim, and I'll say it again. If you move like this in your personal life, like most people just don't. Most people don't just take somebody's word at face value. That sounds utterly ridiculous. Like it's like his Trump RX. Have you gone to the Trump RX website?
No, I haven't.
If you go to the Trump RX website, it refers you to other websites. Good RX, other things. You're not getting any. These people are crazy. There's nothing there.
You sound like what? Isn't that exactly what he said last night? Is these people are crazy?
Yes, but here's the difference between he and I. I can support. First of all, I'm not the president. Number one. Number two, I'm not talking about Congress. I'm not talking about Democrats. I'm talking about the people that listen to him and believe that what he's saying makes sense. And listen, everybody that has a child that voted for Donald Trump and still support him. If you have children, you did not sit at the damn kitchen table correcting their homework and see a problem where they said 500% of $100 makes fucking sense. Why? You didn't correct that problem and say it's okay.
No, and
they didn't do that.
And they didn't point out the awful math of that. But I gotta read this comment, Mike. The handsome conservatives, wow, says this is coming on Instagram. Says I will. Now he's conservative. You know, Straight Talk called him a rhino. I will stomp a mud hole in Straight Talk's ass and walk it dry. Don't tell me whether I'm a conservative or not. Wow.
Now listen,
little bit of right wing heat, huh?
Well, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this is what they do. The minute somebody on their side doesn't agree with a point, not every point, just a point, you no longer have credibility. Yep. You ain't shit. Get the fuck out. And listen, Marjorie Greene Taylor, Thomas Massey, all of Liz Cheney, all of them voted with Donald Trump 90+% of the time. The moment they say one thing, all of a sudden, they get pulled apart. They get their wings and legs pulled apart.
That is something. That is, as much as they say the liberals are crazy, and that kind of sounds like the song, what is it? God is good, beer is great, and liberals are crazy or whatever. But I will say this. I've never, because the liberals don't do that. The Fetterman, for instance, does not agree with everything the Democrats say. And the Democrats are not calling Fetterman a liberal. They didn't even do that to Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, for the right, like you said, you got to have 100% compliance or you become a rhino.
And if you agree about somebody 100% of the time on everything, you're a cult member.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't agree with my wife on everything 100%. I mean, who does? And the fact that their loyalty and their allegiance requires that should tell them everything that you want to know. It requires 100% capitulation, or you're not one of us. And then you become everything that he just said, and they don't even let that be a warning shot across the bow. Not at all.
Yeah, I don't get that. Like, I mean, look, Trump is at the end of the day, he's a human. Like, he can be wrong. Like, you got to agree with him 100% of the time, or you get viewed as a rhino. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene voted with Trump like 98% of the time. That's pretty fucking flawless. Yes. That's pretty flawless for her to be a rhino now.
Where would 98% not be an A?
Plus.
It's an A plus.
Plus.
It's an A plus.
Yeah, it's an A plus.
And so, because you don't get the other 2 points, you don't pass the test. What kind of logic is that? And see, this is why I tell them, you guys have set aside your critical thinking skills, your common sense for this man. They didn't give this to John McCain. They didn't give it to George Bush Jr. They didn't give it to George Bush Sr. They did not give this level. Even, listen, the Republicans went after Bush behind Iraq, if you remember.
Yeah.
Once it came out that they was bullshit, they will not do that. This base, because they're rooted in this white supremacy and this white nationalism. This is what they're rooted in. It's part of who they are. Let me ask you a question, Tim. Can an ideology, can a white nationalist and white supremacy ideology be conducive to you as a black person or as a minority?
No.
Okay, so we'll use that logic. If that's the case, how can you support anything that this person does as a politician if you know their ideology will support you?
But that's the thing, is that MAGA does not agree with what you're saying. MAGA does not see anything that Trump is doing as an arm of white supremacy.
I know they don't, and it's because they don't want to see it. But when you point these things out, they always have an excuse to excuse it.
I mean, that's historically what has happened. I mean, you know, we're not racist. We just believe you should be over there. We should be over here. I mean, that's the way it's always been. Is racism has always been denied.
Well, and exactly. And then they tell us, what are we crying about? It doesn't exist. There's nothing to see here. Yeah. There's nothing to see here. Hey, don't look at the fact that that African-American men are being found strange-fruited in this country.
That's crazy. I've seen reports on that. People being found dangling from trees. I mean, it's several of them at this point.
Yeah, well, there's over 24 in the last 6 years. But here's the thing. They'll tell us, but they're all ruled immediately. They're all ruled no foul play. Yeah. Now, I don't know about the rest of them, but if black men are going to hurt themselves, one of the ways they do it is not that.
No. Yeah, you very rarely hear of any. I mean, I know Robin Williams, some of them folks, that's a white man. But you don't normally hear about, unless they maybe are incarcerated where they don't have another option. But yeah, you don't normally hear of African Americans dangling from a tree as a measure of taking their own life. There's a lot of other methods to use other than that. Maybe swallowing a pistol or something. But no, I don't see that.
I mean, now alter ego. I talk about them all the time. Here's a perfect. And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Bama landscaper. What do you mean that's totally uncalled for? See, you guys want to be so comfortable. But you don't ever want to be uncomfortable by having hard conversations about this country. And until you want to have the conversation, whoa, that's uncalled for. I can have a conversation about your children and the violence that's perpetuated against your children, and you won't want to hear that conversation either. And that's the thing.
And real quick in the comments, Angry Patriot is pointing out they literally tried to ruin RFK Jr. when he left the Democratic Party. No, they didn't like it when he claimed to be in the Democrat Party. He was running for Democrat president, still in the party, and they didn't like dude. His what I want to say, his his mindset didn't fit the narrative of the party. He got nothing to do. He left the party because there was no love for him in it. I mean, so no, it got nothing to do with him leaving the party. They didn't like him when he was running for president of the party. I'm not aware that RFK was ever known as a Democrat.
No, and here's the thing about him, boy, and his family.
Yeah, his family, but not him.
Let me ask you this, Tim, and I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire on this. Could you imagine having a black candidate that had a history of doing heroin and doing heroin and actually be confirmed as a position like RFK was? Can you imagine that?
Not that position, but we will talk about former Washington D.C. Marion Barry, or what? He's dead now, but
Marion Barry, right?
Yeah.
So your example is Marion Barry.
Well, he was caught on video smoking crack and got reelected.
Yes, and where did he get reelected?
D.C.
And how was D.C. going at the time?
Oh, I don't know what the condition. Probably was similar to it is now.
And listen, he's 36 years. I didn't say he wasn't sober. Listen, this is the part. This country has historically, not my words, not my foundation, not my presidency. The presidency and the administration were coveted positions. You couldn't have all these scandals that now all of a sudden you guys overlook.
Yeah.
We've never had a president that had been.
They went back and had no problem going all the way back through Biden and talking about the 94 crime bill, which is, 30 some years before. I mean, so yeah, if you're on video doing drugs and shit like that, well, it was 30 years ago. No, it's going to matter for the presidency.
It's never been the standard. That's what's so crazy about now, that the bar is lowered to make people feel comfortable about what we're establishing right now. Let's just be honest. We've lowered the bar so low that we have to step over it. After Trump, let's just be honest. After Trump, what is the bar for presidents moving forward?
You're going to have, and thank you for the hat mustache there, LTX, appreciate that. What you're going to end up having to have is a Democrat, if he's replaced by a Democrat that comes in and takes a high road and says, look, for this nation to heal, I'm not going to come in here and play tit for tat. I don't want any of my party doing the same stuff that they did in revenge. For us to heal, we're going to have to just let what happened and let bygones be bygones. We cannot follow up a president that was promising to be your commander of retribution and do the same thing. The only way we're going to make it is we got to let that type of activity die with the last administration. That's the only way you get that.
Otherwise, you have to accept felons. You have to accept sex allegations. You have to accept terrible financial checkered past. You have to accept multiple wives, multiple children. You got to accept all of that shit at the same time, and that's the bar.
Yeah, and I've said that. Yeah, I've said that is that after Trump, MAGA in particular, I guess the conservatives in general, but certainly MAGA in particular, has literally removed their ability to really criticize anything. Because everything that you criticize from a future leader, well, you ignored Trump doing that, or what about when Trump, were you talking about, whether it's the family bit, remember Burisma and Hunter Biden? This guy's making a killing doing that now. Or, meeting with adversaries and things like that. So you're going to have a president that just simply says what happened in the past, I'm not proud of. But our party, in order to unite the country, is we're going to just simply take a different direction, not try to take revenge on that. Let the courts do whatever they got to do for those in the past, and we got to move on together as one. That's the only way you get past it. But if you get a Democrat in there that's, like Trump on Sean Hannity, I'm going to be the president of retribution, then it just goes on and snowballs and gets worse.
And look what we have today: a president that can't say anything unifying if his life depended on it. Can't do it. Now I'm going to pivot real quick. So did you see the reports coming out from NPR and a lot of credible sites about how the Department of Justice left certain files out of
13-year-old accusing Trump of rape. Mm-hmm. And Epstein. I guess they tag teamed the 13-year-old apparently.
Yes. Now let's be clear before anybody pushes back. This lady's testimony was used in the JE trials and Maxwell. So they they had already verified her testimony. That they used her testimony to put those two people behind bars. Her testimony was part of it. Let's speak now. What they didn't release, and this is funny because I don't want to hear anybody try to defend this bullshit. Pages out of 60 pages, from page 15 to 34 were removed. They gave us 14 through 36. Okay?
Pam Bondi gonna be toast once this is over with.
Man,
I mean, she's
you know
clearly.
you know what he's gonna do?
What?
I don't know anything about it. That's on her. Just like he did that military advisor. I don't think I sent you that story. I'll land it here because I know you got to move on. And you guys look this up. There was a military advisor that was advising him on the Iran situation, right?
Okay.
And he was talking about all the warnings and all the things, and going into this conflict can be costly for the U.S. because it will deplete some of our defenses in the unlikely circumstance that we're in conflict with China or someone else.
They making money, man. They making money, and I think that's all. It's kind of like driving Uber, and you don't give a shit about a rental car, so you just gonna depreciate it because you don't care nothing about the car. You just trying to make money for yourself. To me, that's what it's. They just getting paid. Whatever the repercussions of them getting paid, they can deal with that in the future. I think they're just trying to get paid.
Well, and you know what, Tim? Okay, so it's a grift. So now well, let me finish the story before I give you this other update before I drop.
Real quick, because you over. Go ahead.
Yeah. Donald Trump said that general or the retired general who's advising, he's basically putting it on him. If we do this and it's a failure, I'm taking your advice on this. I don't know if you read that bullshit.
No, but it's believable. Right? It's kind of Trump's method. That's Trump's method of operation.
That's his MO. He's always blaming. And then lastly, the judge rules, it just came out today, 2:45 p.m. A judge rules Trump's administration policy for third country deportations is unlawful. So you know how he's trying to send people in.
Yeah, I know. Like what you tried to do with Kilmar Abrego Garcia to Africa or something like that.
Yeah. You keep saying he's winning. I got a fact for you. You can look this up. There's been 155 special elections since he's taken office.
Yeah.
How many have they won? I'll tell you. 3.
I still think he's winning because he's doing what he wants to do, courts or not. I gotta move it on, but I do get what you're saying. He's losing. We'll see what after the midterms we'll have this conversation. That'll tell us a lot.
Gets him up to 100K.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Mike, all right, Brody. Always a pleasure. Thank you. Yeah, we'll see what happens after the midterms. If Trump is winning, I still say that. I get the courts are ruling against him in different cases, but even when he lost to the Supreme Court in regards to the tariffs, you had, I think it was Kavanaugh, just told him a backdoor way to continue the tariffs. So to me, that's winning. Judges are on your side. Tap the screen, get us on up to 70,000. We're on our way to 100. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to smash that like button. You guys know how the program is ran. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. We don't black ban or censor anyone. This is uncensored programming. We do not have moderators. You can feel free to speak freely on the program, whether you're a caller or in the comment section. If the apps let you get away with it, so do we. It's a free speech program. If you enjoy free speech without the censorship from all sides of the aisle, follow us. If you're watching on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, and if you're currently watching on YouTube, feel free to give us a sub. It would certainly help out. By the way, for my YouTube viewers, smash that like button. Get the likes on up. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. We're MAGA friendly. You hear liberals, but we are MAGA friendly as well. Looking in the comments, Hegseth. What about Pete Hegseth? Rest in peace, Rondell Moore. Republicans are crazy for supporting a criminal, pedo, Fox president. That's a mouthful. What am I doing with that? Well, he hasn't been, he was convicted. I'm about to say he hasn't been convicted of criminality. He does have officially 34 felonies, but they don't view the criminal charges against President Trump as legitimate. They believe the courts had an in for President Trump, made up some bullshit, and ended up convicting him of something that should not have happened. So they don't respect the 34 felonies. So they don't see it as voting for a criminal, as you're saying. Looking in the comments here, they're on that CIS shit. You're gonna say what? I don't know why this is acting that way, but let me see if I can. For some reason my YouTube is acting goofy over here. But there we go. Yeah, I see that on. Anyway, tap the screen. A jury convicted him, not the judge. True, but they're going to say, listen, if you favor Trump, you're doing the right thing. You're a patriot. If you don't, you're radical leftist or something like that. So when you say a jury convicted Trump, not the judge, they believe the jury was all in. Look, he got convicted in New York. So they're going to say it's a blue city, so you can't trust the jury. If a jury in Alabama exonerated them, they would be patriots. They were smart enough to see the charges were bullshit and did the right thing. I mean, it's just that is the way it is. Like, for instance, a judge that President Trump appointed himself just ruled that none of Jack Smith's findings on Trump taking home, classified documents, none of that can ever come to light permanently. Trump didn't have a problem with that. Now, that's a judge that Trump appointed himself. And the judge has made it so whatever Jack Smith was trying to prosecute him on in regards to having classified documents in his house, we'll never know what led Jack Smith to say we got a case of criminality. She's blocked it. Trump is okay with that. So if it was a liberal judge that revealed it, he would be saying that was a radical left activist judge. And so would MAGA. That's kind of how it works. Anyway, looking in the comments, straight talk. Well, I saw that already. Don't know. YouTube is really acting problematic today. Smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. I don't know what's going on, but we'll continue on in it's the comment section or something's happening weird. But let me go. MAGA is insane, says Rosemar. Insane how? If he was a felon, what does that say? If he was a felon, he can't be president. He wasn't sentenced, hence no felon. Angry Patriot, that's not true. That is not true. If you are convicted, once they say guilty, you're a felon. It's as simple as that. If you're charged with a felony, once the jury comes back and renders a guilty verdict, you are officially a felony from that point on. Usually they'll have you render your passport if you got to wear an ankle monitor, or they're not going to give you bail, or whether they give you bond or whatever. But the moment that jury renders a guilty verdict, after you've been convicted of a felony, they start telling you all the disciplinary actions you're going to face. Don't do this, don't have any contact with the victim, or what, if you got a passport. It's just because he was president, they gave him a pass. But no, you don't need to be thrown in jail. Once they say guilty, you are officially convicted. So yeah, I do agree with somebody pointing out, Aaron Morgan pointed out that felons can run for president. I've said before that the next administration, maybe even if it's a conservative administration, not a conservative administration that falls in line with Trump's. So I'm not talking to J.D. Vance's or Marco Rubio's, but let's say you get a Nikki Haley types, one of those other conservative administrations, and definitely the liberals. I think they are going to pass what I have been calling anti-Trump laws to prevent what we've been through from happening in the future. And number one being a felon can't run for president. I think that's going to be, look, a lot of things that Trump is doing 10 years ago, well, maybe 20 years ago, now that he's been president or on the scene for 15 years ago, before Trump came on the scene, 15 years ago, a lot of things that Trump is doing, you would have received bipartisan support that says, no, that can't happen. You would have had no problem whatsoever 15 years ago during the era of quote unquote crooked Hillary. You would have had no problem finding a host of Republicans that would have said a felon cannot be president. They would all agree with that. Now, all of a sudden, because it's Trump, we're okay. So there's a lot of things that Trump is doing, I think, that we're just kind of overlooking because we favor Trump, but we would not have favored this stuff at all, such as doing business while in the White House based on legislation you're passing and stuff like that. I mean, how could a president have their own cryptocurrency? Would you want Would you think MAGA would have wanted crooked Hillary to have her own crypto? That wouldn't have been allowed. So stuff like that, I do believe once Trump is out, you'll get bipartisan support saying no, that was just not a good thing to do. And I do believe the data will show that President Trump made a lot of money with that stuff. Naming things after yourself personally while you're still alive. Don't think naming ships after yourself, putting your name on memorials and shit like that. I mean, now I think they're naming an airport down in Florida after him. So he's trademarked his name. I think you would have had bipartisan support that would have been against that before Trump came on the scene. But we're kind of turning a blind eye to it. So I do believe there's a lot of things that President Trump is doing that once he is gone, the right will be saying, the Bibles, the Tesla on the White House lawn, that type of stuff. Even the right would be saying, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. I don't even think the right would favor letting future presidents unilaterally impose tariffs on the world. I don't think they would be. You think they would have been okay with Obama? I'm going to tariff the whole fucking world. Whatever number I come up with. I don't think the right would have been okay with that. So we are giving Trump a pass on a lot of stuff just because we favor Trump that we would not give other presidents a pass on. Just not holding them to any account, just trusting that everything he is doing is accurate. Castrating healthy children is insane. Encouraging criminals and invaders is insanity. Well, I'm not aware that castrating children is a legitimate issue. That's something that, listen, you got Trump saying, Trump actually stated, and thank you, Ms. Mo Better, for the hat mustache, appreciate that. Trump actually stated that in Democrat areas, women are actually giving birth, taking a baby home, and bringing a live baby back to the hospital and deciding with the doctor whether they want to abort it or not. He actually said that. So a lot of things that MAGA believes are horrible sins are coming out of the mouth of Trump that are not necessarily true. I mean, we can talk about the Haitian migrants eating cats and dogs. That's not based on actual reality. So some of this stuff, which I understand why MAGA is acting that way, because he is saying some pretty awful shit, but it's not really rooted in reality, such as the castrating healthy children. Where the hell is that happening at? How many children, healthy children? I think he also said something like, you send your child to school and 3 days later they come home to different gender. So in other words, you sent your child to school, they kept your kid for 3 days. I'm kind of wondering why the parent is not like, why my kid ain't came home? I sent them to school on Monday. It's Thursday. Why? So how do they do that? But he said you send your kid to school and 3 days later they come home. You send them a boy and they come home a girl. MAGA believes that stuff. MAGA genuinely believes that stuff. So I understand with the utmost sincerity why MAGA is so upset at the liberals. They believe that that's actually happening. Kind of like Pizzagate. Drinking the blood of infants, Hillary Clinton, etc. Anyway, let me go back to the box. When you believe that kind of stuff, I understand why you would act that way. But like I said, I don't believe for one bit it's based on any level of reality. Miss Mo Better. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Just got banned 2 times in what does that say? Donovan says just got banned 2 times in a row for being honest. I don't want to walk this earth anymore. That's not a good way to be, sir.
Tell him to go scratch and sniff, Donovan. Tell him to go scratch and sniff.
Look,
I like the way you say my name, Miss Mo.
Miss Mo Better. Nobody does it better than Miss Mo. But let me just say it like this.
Clock that.
Hey, let me just say it like this though. When President Trump became our 47th commander-in-chief, a lot of the tech bros were hanging around him at his inauguration and everything. So if you are being censored now, that's on the Trump administration. That's not the liberals are not in power. Obviously, everybody admits TikTok is heavy in censorship. That's owned by Trump people. Same thing
and
now.
I think they shadow banning you too, because they didn't even show me that. Normally they'll show you show when you're live or whatever. And when I went to look your name up, your
wow,
2 circles come up. They weren't even up there. I said that's shadow banning. That's all that is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that what the Trump administration has done is essentially tackle liberal cancel culture by just replacing it with conservative cancel culture. They're just doing the same thing just for their side.
He's always projecting. That's what he does. He projects. He calls out. He calls out the Democrats for everything for shit that he's doing because he know they buy into his foolishness.
Yeah.
They buy into that bullshit too.
I want to be like that. I want to be, they used to say I want to be like Mike. I want to be like Donald. I want to be able to say anything. No.
Ew, Tim, that's disgusting. You want to go grabbing people by the pussy?
Not that.
You want to go into little girls' pageants and watch them naked? No, you don't want to be
I don't
that
know
man.
about the little kid stuff. I don't know about
You don't want to be that man.
I don't know about the little kid stuff, but being able to touch and play ain't a bad. But
all you got to do is find the right woman, Tim. You must have the wrong woman.
Really?
You should be able to go. Listen, you should be up there cooking and stuff. Well, that's for another show.
What part of the country you in? Anyway,
I'm in New York. I'm a New Yorker.
Okay, shout out. How you guys liking Mamdani out there?
I'm on Long Island. I don't fuck with Mamdani. He ain't got nothing to do with us out here.
Okay.
That's New York City. That's a difference.
Oh, well, Long Island, is that that's not one of the 5 boroughs?
No.
What the fuck? What did you got a hater? You got a hater.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
They so full of cocky, man. I swear.
Sound like gangster grandma. Yeah, they definitely. They're saying the thing about it is, like I said, once Trump
maybe because I said the M word, that man from I don't know what I said.
So did you watch the State of the Union address?
That's what you call it?
Well, that's what it was.
That's what it was supposed to be. And what did he say? He didn't say nothing different than what he's been saying. I did. It was nothing fascinating about what he said. All he did was attack, blame, and give out awards. To me, Erica Kirk sitting there, you crying. I ain't never seen nobody cry with no tears.
you guys in this Erica. Well, speaking of,
she must be dehydrated or something.
Oh my God! But speaking of giving out awards, now that to me was something he did well. I don't know why this is Biden, but he gave out a distinguished flying cross or distinguished cross. What is it called? Congressional Medal of Honor. That's what it is. Congressional Medal of Honor. He gave that to a 100-year-old Korean War vet. I thought that was a good thing. Now,
no, that was nice. That was nice.
He also gave he gave one of the National Guardsmen a Purple Heart that was shot by the Afghan that traveled from the West Coast. Now that guy killed. Here's what I don't understand. Now I don't know if you're military. I'm not.
I'm not either.
I thought you had, I thought normally Purple Hearts were given out in bravado or posthumously. I mean, this guy just got shot. I mean, he was a National Guardsman and he was being deployed against his own people because he was a National Guardsman deployed in D.C. So he was deployed against Americans. And so, and this guy went over and shot. I didn't think you could get a Purple Heart for something like that.
I didn't think you could either. And the crazy thing is, didn't he offend John McCain for that?
Did he?
Didn't he talk junk about John McCain when he received his Purple Heart? And he said people that
he said my war heroes don't get captured. I do remember that.
Get captured. Oh, okay, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. Now, in my reaction, you're wrong. You said the National Guard only get deployed in America. No, they were sent to Iraq. That is absolutely not true. You, as a National Guardsman,
is up here bloviating and don't know what he's talking about. Talking about Trump is not a felon because he wasn't sentenced. Listen, there's a lot of felons that don't go to prison. Are you stupid or are you dumb?
Yeah.
Like, the fuck?
Yeah, but definitely.
Go somewhere and learn something.
Yeah, definitely during the Iraq War, National Guardsmen got sent over to Iraq. So yeah. So he's totally wrong on that.
They absolutely can go to different places.
Well,
again, but that's what happens when you have people just talking because they like the sound of their own voice. He need to go learn something.
No, yeah, he may follow you. So you didn't hear anything good in the State of the Union address?
Nothing. There was nothing different. He lies about numbers, about us being, the greatest this, the greatest that. Listen, we're about to lose all our damn allies. You talk about we the greatest. Stop it. You're out here bullying people out of their oil and all kinds of stuff and talking about it's so great. It ain't great. It's great for who?
Well, the man.
The terrorists have caused nothing but havoc and trouble for us.
Well, the man does say we are the hottest nation on earth now. So, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
But what about the moment when he talked about standing for putting Americans first as opposed to illegal immigrants, and the Democrats didn't stand?
Listen, because he again they're around here lying about the immigrants sucking up all of the resources and all kinds of stuff like that, which is the furthest from the truth, Tim. It is not true. First of all, I work for Medicaid. They do not qualify to get stuff like that. They don't qualify to get the governmental benefits. And the ones that did get it, they were here on asylum and they only got it for 90 days.
And see, that's what I was saying earlier. The benefit of Trump is that he can say that MAGA doesn't. I don't know if it's true or not, but he can say it.
I'm not on no Medicaid. Go scratch and sniff. Grown people talking.
But I mean, that is one of the benefits. If he say that illegal immigrants are voting or they're getting help, welfare, stuff like that.
That's another lie. They don't vote either. And I don't know why they making it such a big deal now. We've always needed, when I know in our places to vote, we always had to have ID. You're not going, they got people standing at the door and sitting at the table to make sure you have the proper ID and it has the proper, address on it, and when they match your ID to the voter registration that they have, it has to match. You're not going in there without the proper identification, and you're not just going in there with some bullshit ass ID. It's always been a driver's license.
How about this one? AGL Toast says Democrats are dangerous for the United States. Says the population of the USA would double in only 4 years with open borders. How do you respond to that? Because you do hear Trump saying we need more babies.
Of course they need more babies because they need more placenta. Tim, I sent you that in Instagram. You need to go look at it. I keep telling you why they're not pro-life. It's not about being pro-life. They want pro-birth because there are a lot of benefits when it comes to that placenta and the DNA. Stop playing.
Wait a minute. It's this placenta thing. What are you getting at?
There's a lot of minerals and there's a lot of vitamins and stuff that is in the placenta. They were using some of it for antibodies when the C19 came out. I'm not making this stuff up.
Wait a minute. So you're saying they want the placenta to make pharmaceuticals out of it or something?
Yes, you can make pharmaceuticals. As a woman, once a woman gives birth, she has to apply to take her placenta. She can take it back and have it stored and everything for herself and use it for vitamins for her own self.
But is that a bad thing? They want to. I mean, wouldn't that?
No, it's not bad for her.
No. Is it bad for the Trump administration to want to do that? I mean, if they're coming up with pharmaceuticals that helps mankind, is that bad?
Because they're just helping themselves with it. How do you think he's still kicking? Stop playing, Tim. See, you don't be looking at.
You telling me Trump is going around eating placentas or something?
I don't know how he's getting it. He could intravenously. I don't know how he's getting it. I can't speak to that.
I mean,
but I know that that's a real thing. That's a thing.
I mean, but to be honest with you, if that's true, then that's really something huge that Trump should get credit for. I mean, I get you. Maybe.
So you just want to force people to have babies for that?
No. Look.
That's why they're doing it.
Hold on a second.
I keep telling you, it's the why. You have to pay attention.
I'm not
just. Why.
Hold on. I get the selfishness, the human experimenting on humans and how bad that is. But unfortunately, a lot of benefits to mankind, probably the best way to get benefits for mankind is to allow human experimentation.
Understand though, it's more from the melanin side.
But it will trickle down, right? I mean, think about it. If all of a sudden,
I'm laughing at you, Tim.
No, hear me out.
Trickle down,
yes, hear me out. If President Trump, due to being selfish for his own longevity, or the Trump administration or the elite members, people that he's in cahoots with, they all come up with a way of using stem cells to extend their lifespan. Eventually, it's going to be something that's going to get used for more than just them. It starts out with the rich, just like Ozempic. Ozempic started out with the Oprahs and all of them. Now the regular people use it. I mean, it would trickle down eventually.
Them regular people got health issues too, messing with stuff like that.
Explain.
Yeah, they do.
I want to know.
Yeah, they do. It's messing with their intestines and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, people have there's side effects to almost everything we take and ingest in here.
But are the side effects because I'm dabbling in that right now? Are the side effects worse than is a cure worse than what you were dealing with before it?
It depends. It depends on your system. You know, you have some people that take these things that really don't need them. If they do pushaways, you know what I mean? So it depends on genetics. It depends on your blood type. It depends on your habits. It depends. It's not just, you know.
I mean, if I'm dealing with
everybody that takes it.
Yeah, I mean,
some people really need the help. You know what I mean? And it works for them because they have a strong system. They just have other stuff going on too. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
No,
well, when you think about obesity, which is one of and diabetes, the things that it deals with, those things can kill you. So if it fucks with your intestines, that might actually be less than what you were dealing with. Real quick though, before we continue, Lance said, "Selfish? Are you joking? They shot him in the head for Christ's sakes." Trump didn't get shot in the head.
Who got shot in the head? That ain't true.
Yeah, you're way overhyping what happened to the man. You don't.
You can't even look at that so-called wound and tell it was one even there.
Who the hell gets?
Show me the scar. It don't even look like he had his ear pierced.
Yeah, who the hell gets shot in the head? Stands up, yells, "Fight, fight, fight!" and don't forget my shoes. Who does that?
When people go get their ear pierced. And you let that ear close, you're getting keloids and bumps and stuff on your ear. Yeah. That was a whole assault rifle that person used.
Yeah, I think that's.
And come on, man, stop it.
Yeah, that's crazy. He didn't get close to being shot in the head. That's crazy.
No, he ain't got in the ear either. Shit.
Listen, I do believe somebody was trying to take his life. I get that, but
I don't believe that either. But I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself. They already giving me red flags on here. So
I believe any president is gonna have their share of enemies, and when you talk and run your mouth as much as Trump, you're gonna have more. So I do believe people are trying to take his life, but go ahead.
I just want to say real quick, how does people want you to respect him when the way he speaks to people? When you are the president of this country, you're the face. You're not really the boss. We're really your boss. But you sat and he divided that room in half. That's a divisive man, and he wants people to respect him, and that's not going to happen. No. So just as many people that love him hate him.
Yeah. Well, they believe that Trump has the best vision for America over any president in history, and if he says something negative about you, you need to stop being a snowflake and just let him get away with it because his plan for America is great. That's their belief.
No, I know. I know what they believe because they say it out their mouth. They come up and say that shit out loud and then always try to pivot or redirect what he should have said. Oh, no, he didn't mean that. This is what he said. Oh, no, this is what he meant to say.
Yeah. Well, to me...
It's slow.
Yeah, to me, once you start posting pictures of dudes in sombreros and looking like monkeys and things like that, there's no respect coming from that.
They put Al Green out last night because he held up the sign that said, "Black people are not monkeys."
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, the right tends to think that stuff is cool. That's the picture you're talking about there. Black people.
Yeah. Black people are not apes.
Yeah, they like that kind of stuff.
And again, all they are is showing their horns. That's what they're doing to support the shit, the fuckery that he got going on there, showing their horns.
Showing their horns, damn.
Yes, and you could take that how you wanna.
And I see in the comments somebody is really speaking out on you, Sarah Wood. A lot of women. I appreciate having my MAGA women. She says, "Bitch, you don't know what you mean."
Shut up. Shut your dumb ass up.
Sarah Wood. Wow, she got it come. and they have bigger problems by walking around and can't breathe. Get that fat off your heart by any means necessary. Yeah, I agree with that. If you're big enough.
Listen, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people do need that help. You know what I mean? Again, you just got to follow the rules when it comes to stuff like that. Some people don't.
Yeah. No. I don't know. To be like I said, for me, you know, I did have stuff like high blood pressure, and I wasn't huge, but I was big enough. You know, I'm big enough that and old enough that shit starts to go wrong. So
listen, and that's what happens. The body changes the older you get. You know what I'm saying? We can't be like we were 19 or 20 years old forever.
Right.
You can't.
But you want to be. You want to be.
Of course. In our minds, we're 20 years old. We outside.
You want to look at you and be like, I'm about to strap you from the ceiling and just munch on you. But you can't do that. You can't do it when you try. You can't do it. So
listen, I bet you Neil tell you different.
Yeah.
That was Melissa that said that over there?
Huh?
Who?
I don't know why that person, I don't see Melissa in the comments saying anything about you. Maybe I do. Melissa says you cry over Renee Nicole Good, but this American heroes Democrats won't stand. Who are the American heroes though?
Yeah, that's a lie. They stood up when Trump gave that man the medal. They did stand up.
Yeah, I don't know.
They just so full of that orange Cheeto dust. It's clouding their thoughts.
I had this talk with one of my, I like going into my MAGA viewer lives, and one of the guys was criticizing Duke. I think it was Duke. He was criticizing why the Democrats didn't stand, and I told him, I was like, look, once Trump said I hate all Democrats, you can't expect this guy to work with you.
Yeah, come on, bro. And how could anybody really expect them to stand? And first of all, the ones that were standing up for him know he's lying, and they're still standing up. That means they'll fall for any fucking thing, because y'all buy into his bullshit. Knock it off. Why should they stand up? Why should they stand up for that bloviating he was doing? Because that's all that was happening. He was up there bloviating. You talking about shit that didn't happen. You still talking about gas $1.97. I want somebody to please post that picture.
Well, it might be one or two gas stations in some locale that's really cheap like that. But would it really make a difference when 99% of the gas stations in America are not that cheap? I mean, he's found something amazing. It might be, you know what it could even be? Some gas station owner that just wants to be in with MAGA and have somebody change the fucking sign for a few hours or something. You just never know.
And Angry Factory, I said I was going to watch it. I did not say I was not going to watch it.
Well, Sarah Wood responds again by saying, you need mental health heifer. Haven't heard somebody call it heifer in a while.
And you need some dick, you dyke bitch. Shut up.
Okay. All right, we get to, oh my God. Oh my God.
Listen, I'm telling you, I be trying to mind my business, but then they come for me. And I'm not nice with my response. I have razor blade tongue. I'll cut your ass short. Oh, they're going to block me for that. Sorry.
Yeah, I bet they will. And I see straight talk. The handsome conservative says straight talk ain't shit. So, you guys are wild tonight. This is a hell of a party.
Listen, they mad because the same shit that we heard, they heard. And it's the same shit that we've been hearing. Y'all ain't heard nothing different. You ain't heard nothing different, and all the numbers are the same. He lying about all of them. And he's going to be mad when he got to pay all that shit back, and they're going to lose the midterms.
Are you sure about that? You sure
about what?
The Democrats losing the midterms?
What? You said the Democrats? No.
I mean the Republicans. You sure they going?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure he's made too many enemies.
I don't know. We all may suddenly find ourselves being told we're not U.S. citizens, therefore we don't have the right to vote.
That's some fake tree. It's always talking that shit. Oh, you don't like this country? Leave. Go where? How about you leave and we stay to be a better country? For people that keep saying that shit, you leave.
I've been told by MAGA to leave America quite a bit.
Yeah, they all go back to Africa. How do you? I'm from here. This is where I'm from, right here. Y'all came over here and stole this shit. Y'all British people.
I'll leave it at that. They're not, and MAGA's not fans of even of the Brits anymore. So we'll leave it at that.
That's a whole nother show
that
too.
is
See, they're not ready for the level of education and stuff that I have. Because I swear I'd hurt their feelings.
Mm-hmm. Hurt me, baby. All right, I got to move it on, Miss
That's
Mo.
a different story.
Hey. I got to go. Appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, Miss Mo Better. Nobody does it better. Tap the screen. Get us up over the 100,000 hump. Help your boy out. Get your boy up to 100. HUNNIT. Tap the screen. Get the likes on. I'm looking in the comments. I got to grab my spectacles once again. If that was the case, then I guess everyone can bounce except the natives. Well said. Well said. I think it's a case of we're running the country. This is from a MAGA standpoint. We're running the country. If you don't agree with us, get the fuck out. I think that's the way I view it. How are the fighting and conspiracy comments kept, but the meaningful ones are deleted? Who's deleting? The apps. The apps. Like I said, we don't block, ban, or censor anything. I don't delete. Occasionally, there's two things that'll get you deleted. Spamming, obviously. Occasionally we get spammers. Spamming will get you deleted. And, just blatant racism. The N-word. You get some folks that I'm going to type the N-word over and over and over again, or they'll type N, hit enter, I, hit, and G and try to spam it. That, yeah. But other than insults, stuff like we don't delete for insults. You can be. I had somebody just tell me a minute ago I was comparable to somebody in Planet of the Apes. I don't give a shit about that. I'm about free speech. You can state your case. But yeah, when you're doing things that may get the apps to trigger taking the program down, then those folks I do unfortunately have to ban them. But other than that, it's all about free speech. If you report comments and report a certain word, it will start filtering it out, says Cedric. Look, I got more folks in the comment section that is favorable to censorship than I am. I mean, Gangsta Grandma come up here, people don't like her. I get, I'm assuming people don't like straight talk. Looking in the comments though, real quick before we continue on. I support some of what he does, not all, so stop telling me I have my head up my ass and blindly follow him. Well, Anthony, that's the same thing that the right does. I mean, that's what happens. That's what happens. If you support Trump, they're going to blame you for everything Trump does. If you support a liberal, they're going to say you don't know what a woman is. I know what the fuck a woman is. And I get thrown, they're going to say you're a socialist or you're a communist. I'm none of that stuff. So that's the political arena we live in now. That is what we live in now. Is you're going to get grouped up with the worst of your party. I don't want to get grouped up as supporting everything Mamdani does. You don't want to get grouped up as supporting everything Nick Fuentes does. So don't tell me I support Mamdani if you don't want to be accused of supporting Nick Fuentes or some of them hardcore right-wing racists. That's how it works. You can't say that every Trump supporter is a racist, but we can say every Democrat is a socialist. No, it don't work like that. If you're slinging mud, you can get dirty. You don't get to wear white and complain about getting dirty when you're slinging mud. Don't do it if you don't want it done to you. Both sides of the aisle, that's my opinion. Looking in the comments, though, they don't know what a communist is. Trump is an authoritarian. I don't think Trump is an authoritarian. I think he wants to be. I think there are still remnants of our government in place. That is like the tariffs. He wants to be able to impose tariffs at his own will on anybody he wants to. The Supreme Court is stopping it. So I do believe that Trump wants a massive amount of power, more so than even other presidents. Look, the right is big fans of small government. Let the states decide. You hear that with abortion and stuff like that, with the Second Amendment. But when it comes to Trump, they don't have any problem with Trump going into a state. I just heard before going on live that Trump is going to cut some sort of federal funding. What is it? Funding for Medicaid to Minnesota because of the Somali fraud. You're talking about probably a couple dozen Somalis committed fraud. And so you're going to cut Medicaid funds to the whole state because of that. People that live in International Falls have nothing to do with what's going on in Minneapolis. You're going to cut funding to the whole state because a handful of people got involved in some type of fraud. The Somalis he's claiming, and there's a white woman at the helm of that shit too, but they don't talk about her. But you're talking about a few dozen people at best. You're gonna make thousands, if not millions of people pay. What is this? Adam and Eve? She bit the apple, so all women pay. I mean, millions of people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of folks in that state are going to pay for what a few people did as opposed to just prosecuting them. That's wrong, period. That is wrong, and that's probably going to cost President Trump some supporters in, places like rural Minnesota and things like that. They ain't got nothing to do with that. Why would you cut their funding for something they ain't got nothing to do with? Go prosecute the Somalis. He wants to deport the entire Somali population for what a handful of people did. That's wrong. And I don't see any way to justify that. Other than I don't like him anyway. I never liked you anyway, pretty motherfucker. One of those type of deals. So you gonna take the whole damn population out? Yeah, to me, that is really wrong. Real quick, and that just came in about an hour or so before I went live, is that they're gonna cut Medicaid funding to Minnesota because of that. No, they said Minneapolis cats were, what did he say? What did he say? No, they said Minneapolis only. Not even Minneapolis, Sarah, even Minneapolis. Minneapolis is obviously the most populated state in Minnesota. And my guess is it ain't just Minneapolis, because St. Paul is a sister city of Minneapolis. You gonna skip completely over St. Paul? I don't believe that. But let's just say Minneapolis. You're still talking hundreds of thousands of people that ain't got nothing to do with that. It's still wrong. Still 100% wrong. Most of Minneapolis is not Somalis. It's mostly white people there. It's still wrong. So it doesn't matter if it's the state or if it's the city. It's still completely wrong to do that. They hate this country while benefiting from it. Get the fuck out. I can't speak on it because the right has their own opinion, their own little specialized opinion of what it means to hate America. When the liberals criticize something about America, maybe our military, maybe the way we govern politically or something we've done, stolen land, whatever. When the left criticizes the country, it's viewed as hating America. You don't like America, get the fuck out is what they say. Did you hear President Trump describe America under Obama, under Biden? Dilapidated military, our roads and bridges are tore up. We're the laughing. I mean, he had nothing positive to say about America at all. There was no claim of, if you don't like it, get out. Nobody said that to him. So it's kind of one of those deals where if we are on the right, we have the privilege and right to do shit that you should shut the fuck up about. We are better than you. We have rights and privileges that we do not extend to you. We can criticize our country because we're patriots. You cannot. That's the way I take it. Because the right criticizes America. Think about how many times the right criticizes Chicago and Los Angeles and stuff like that. You don't hear them telling each other, well, if you don't like American cities, get out. No. It's just only when the liberals do it. We have the right to criticize America, and the liberals do not. We have privilege, you do not. Looking in the comments, because no one was trying to fix it. Nobody's trying to fix what the liberals are complaining about either. It's the same thing. The liberals are complaining about stuff that nobody's trying to fix either. Once again, we are supreme on the right. If we complain about problems, they are legitimate problems. The left do not know what they're talking about. They are lesser than. When they complain about problems, those problems are not real. They are fabricated. That's what I'm hearing. Your problems are genuine, their problems are not. You have a hierarchy over the left. You believe what you say is right and what they say is always wrong. We only defend a raggedy place to outsiders that insult us. Other than that, we are criticizing. I don't know what that means. Help me, guys. Trump is breaking into my house. He says he wants to stick something up my butt. What the fuck? Anyway, I had a hard time on YouTube in particular getting you guys to tap the damn screen and get the likes up. So for that, we're going to go ahead and call it for lack of support. I'm going to go ahead and terminate this. I had a lot of other things I wanted to talk to you guys about with a lot of lazy fingers in here. You guys must be mad at me today. You guys must really be angry with me today. So hopefully we can do this again tomorrow. We run this most weekdays. So if you do favor it, follow the program. If you're watching on TikTok, Instagram, or Substack, give us a sub if you're watching on YouTube. But man, I've never seen so few folks. Man, the support is horrible today. God damn. Can't even get you guys to tap the screen. What the fuck did I do? I read a few more comments. So I say murder in Chicago is a legit complaint. How about you? That's not hating America. What are you talking about? Dog catcher. This is the issue with liberal cities. When I say the right has a hierarchy and the left, you don't give any respect to their comments. You only see issues on the left. I see crime in liberal cities. I'm going to ignore all of the uninsured in right-wing cities that are having issues for not having health care. The literacy rates for kids in schools are terrible in right-wing areas. Terrible. The roads and bridges in conservative areas are terrible. In the Bible Belt states, the poverty is horrible. Most of the hardcore poverty, the dirt poverty shit, all in conservative areas. We're going to ignore all of that. But let's focus on crime in Chicago. That's why you only hear the right talking about how poorly run liberal cities are, and they don't celebrate anything about Republican cities. You never hear them talk about, well, how great Republican cities. No, you're just bashing liberals. Okay, well, give us some great Republican cities. You don't hear them talking about that. So that's what I'm talking about, is we're going to focus on your side and totally ignore what's going on our side. There's a lot of problems in blood red areas that just get ignored. Poverty being one of the biggest. Say what you want about Chicago. They ain't nowhere near as poor as they are in Eastern Kentucky. They're nowhere near living like that. Well, you see folks in West Virginia still praying to God that coal becomes the #1 fuel source again. Dirt fucking poor. Talking about crime in Chicago. And I can see right through your house because the walls are barely holding up. You talking about crime in Chicago. Fix your fucking crib. Dirt poor people talking about crime in Chicago. So yeah, you don't see issues in Republican areas. You only see what's going on in left-wing areas. Red states shitload better than woke states any day of the year. Fuck up. Well, Gary Tito, like I said, the red states are going to be a shitload better than Democrat states to you because you're ignoring the problems in red states. You're ignoring that stuff. Your kids are graduating, if at all, with literacy rates that show they should still be in elementary school. Motherfuckers ain't got no education. But at least they ain't committing crime. You're focusing on things that are happening outside of your community. Why not fix the shit in your own community? Ain't that what you're telling folks on the left? You're ignoring all of those problems. So, yeah, if it's a shitload better to you, it's just because you become accustomed to that type of stuff. Poverty, lack of health. The most citizens with the poorest, or better yet, no health care at all, they live in your areas. They're in your areas. Infant mortality rate. You say you're pro-life. Infant mortality rate. Kids dying in childbirth or soon after. That's in your areas. All that stuff's happening in none of that mean anything to you, huh? Just paying attention to illegal immigrants and gangbangers and a few trans walking around. But all of that shit doesn't mean anything to you. So, yeah, I guess it is better in your area. If you can pick and choose which... This is the whole notion of Trump talking about, we should put Americans over illegal immigrants. It sounds really good. But then when you look at it, you're not forgiving Americans' health care. You're not forgiving Americans' education. You're against stuff like a minimum wage. What are you doing for Americans? What are you talking about? It's almost like you're just giving us an excuse to support hating toward immigrants. I get that. But show me, what are you actually doing for the Americans? I don't see it. So, yeah, I absolutely do not see the point being made. You want to put Americans over illegal immigrants, but then when we start actually looking at, well, what are you actually doing for the Americans? There's nothing there. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps is not helping Americans. That's telling them to pray on it. That ain't helping Americans. So I don't see it. If I saw it, I would give them credit for it, but I don't see it. I just see telling folks to let's put Americans over illegal immigrants is just a way to hate on immigrants. Once those immigrants are gone, they ain't gonna do shit for you either. I've been saying that from day one. Once they get rid of those immigrants, there's nothing in store for you either. They're not talking about looking out for you. So, I mean, it sounds great though. Makes a good slogan. Let's look out for Americans. How? You take out a loan. What did Tim Scott say? You take out a loan, you got to pay it back. We're not for a minimum wage increase because it raises prices or whatever. I mean, you're against everything they're asking for, but somehow, some way, you're helping out Americans. Make it make sense. Anyhow, I tried that thing. Like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. So, what was that? Wait, hang on a second. Maybe somebody did. Hold on a second here. Let me look real quick before we, what does that say here? Support your local liberal day. Okay, handsome conservative, I appreciate that. It says Clark Straight Talk. What is Clark? I don't know what Clark means. Don't know what that means though, but thank you for your support. Gangsta Grandma was our first caller. We'll try one with MAGA Reacts. All of Trump's wives were illegal immigrants. Were they? Well, hold on, before we talk. Hold on, before we talk, MAGA, I don't know if all of Trump's wives were illegal immigrants, but I do know, based on what I've heard, Melania Trump is here on immigration fraud. She got an Einstein visa. Make that MAGA Reacts. You support Trump. Make that make sense. How did she get an Einstein visa?
Well, it goes for anyone with a special talent. She was an international model. That's how they get in. International models get those all the time.
Is that true? I've never heard that.
It before. Yeah, it's any like celebrity acting. Definitely international models get it. How else?
I've never. Why would have?
Especially, you gotta imagine this was 40 years ago, or how long ago? 30 years ago.
Why wouldn't no? And she got her family here too from that. Why would they give you an Einstein visa for being a model? Is that true?
It's a visa for anyone with special talents. Like Piers Morgan has it. A bunch of celebrities, anyone that works internationally usually gets it. So, especially international models back in the 90s, models were the biggest thing back then. Now everybody's an Instagram model and they're a dime a dozen, but in the 90s, finding a beautiful girl to take fucking photos was rare.
Let me see. It says the Einstein, this is AI on Google. The Einstein visa typically refers to the EB-1A Extraordinary Ability Green Card, extraordinary ability, or sometimes the O-1 non-immigrant visa for individuals with sustained national, international acclaim in sciences, arts, sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. Applicants must prove extraordinary ability by meeting at least three of 10 criteria, such as major awards, high salary, published material, or original contributions, or a one-time major achievement like a Nobel Peace Prize or an Olympic medal. No job offer is required for any, but I've never heard of a supermodel getting that.
She said it right there, published materials. Her shit's published all over. You can publish it. You can find it on the internet right now by Googling it. Hell, you could Google it right now and find out if Grandma's right, if she has taco or no taco or whatever the fuck she's saying.
I've seen Melania. She don't look bad naked. She looks like she's a little slim for my liking, but she don't look bad nude. I mean, I think her upper region was not authentic. I don't think it was all natural, but she looks
like
all right.
Every other Russian.
Yeah, I've seen some natural Russians. They got them on the hub. You can see some natural ones. Go to the massage rooms. They got them. So I've seen them. But
I live in Miami. I live in North Miami. I've seen every kind of Russian there is. I know.
Fair enough. So did you see the State of the Union?
I was just at work with a Russian.
Okay. Did you see the State of the Union address?
Most of it, yeah.
What you think?
I like the part where they surprised that wife with her husband who was freed from Venezuela.
I like that. I mean, look, it wasn't all bad. I think awarding the veterans, certainly the Korean War veteran that he gave a Congressional Medal of Honor, the guy was 100 years old. I like stuff like that. Now, in the past, he gave the Congressional Medal of Honor to Rush Limbaugh. To me, that's really divisive. But this guy, the awards he handed out last night, I thought were legit. I didn't have an issue with him. But giving one to Rush Limbaugh, you know, or like if you gave one to Erica Kirk or Charlie Kirk or something like that, then I'm not a fan of it, because now you're talking about somebody that is intentionally divisive. Rush Limbaugh obviously was very divisive. I don't see giving an award. That's like giving one to Al Sharpton. You guys wouldn't like it.
I think didn't Obama give him one? I feel like Obama was doing the same thing.
I'm not aware of him giving
I don't
an
really
award to Al
care.
Sharpton.
I'm good with it. It's like I mean, I think that
Medal of
against
Freedom,
what you just
okay.
said. I think they all deserved it, including Al. I don't know about Al Sharpton, but the other guy that just passed away.
You think Rush Limbaugh deserves an award?
Definitely. I mean, all the work he did in politics and all that. And who just passed away? I can't
Jesse
think of his name
Jackson.
right now. Yeah, he should have got one. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you told me Obama gave him one.
Yeah, that might. Yeah, you know, something maybe. I mean, because to me, the way the Trump administration treated Jesse Jackson in death was horrible. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, he's like
I don't think it was horrible. It wasn't like good, but it wasn't horrible either.
I mean, they actually asked could he lie in state, and they said no. Didn't lower the flags to have mass. I mean, that's pretty bad. Other than calling them all kinds of names, and of course, MAGA was all over the internet saying all kinds of negative shit about him.
Well, Trump didn't call him any names because he's actually one of Trump's friends.
Right, one of your friends that you wouldn't even lower the flags for, or do nothing in
I'll
honor.
give you that. They should have lowered the flags, but everything else, I mean, even CK didn't lie in a rotunda. You didn't see him go in a rotunda.
Yeah, but they lowered the flags for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll give you, they should have lowered the flags for Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, Jesse Jackson
But also, Jesse Jackson didn't get unalived. So
that's all it takes. I mean, I got a few dudes in the hood that got on the line. You gonna lower the flag for him at the national level? I mean, what happened? Charlie Kirk just got blasted, but I mean, Jesse Jackson.
You just undervalued Charlie Kirk. He was big. He was bigger than Rush Limbaugh.
He
was
what?
He was the glue that kept MAGA. He
No.
picked the vice president. Trump picked J.D. Vance because he
Charlie
was
Kirk.
because
Charlie
Kirk
Kirk
told him to.
That's bullshit. Charlie Kirk was not bigger than Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh been doing it. Rush Limbaugh been deep in the game since more years than Charlie Kirk was alive.
No, like Limbaugh is like consistently at a high level, but I think Kirk was bigger.
No, Kirk wasn't. Kirk didn't hold it.
Limbaugh only had radio. Kirk had everything. Kirk had TikTok. He had every social media there is. I mean, he's got branches of TPU USA at every college.
Well, and I see in the
Limbaugh was
comments
just at the radio doing his radio stuff.
Yeah, I seen it.
Kirk had a whole organization behind him.
And I see in the comments Melissa saying Charlie Kirk was the reason Trump was elected. Rush Limbaugh got a host of Republicans elected over the years. Wait, you just like the one guy, but
a radio host.
Yeah, but
I was never a big Limbaugh fan.
But he ain't for your age group. AM radio, first of all, it's fading out now, but talk radio was for the elderly population. I mean, you're not even elderly now. I mean, it's not for your age group.
I mean, I am 40, but
yeah,
I was like, I liked Obama. I'm an Obama guy. I hated Bush. I hated Bush with a passion and the Iraq War and all that shit. And I definitely hated Cheney. So Limbaugh liked them, and that's why I like Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh got a lot of
radio personality, and he is a big radio personality, but he hasn't done as much as
that's
Kirk
crazy.
did in the little time he did.
That's crazy. I think you're undervaluing what the value of AM broadcast radio in regards to Republican and conservative. I think you're undervaluing how big that was during Rush Limbaugh's time. It ain't big now.
I agree with you. It's big, but you're right. It's not big now. But it was all he did was radio. CK did a bunch of shit.
What did Charlie Kirk do other than he got some people interested in the Republican Party, which I'm sure Rush Limbaugh did a lot of that. What else did he do other than debate? What did you give him credit for? What did he do?
Well, the TPUSA was more of like you guys have the DNC on the right that does all the footwork and does all the local stuff to get your people elected. Mm-hmm. TPUSA did more of that than the RNC did. Like the TPUSA did a lot of the footwork where
Yeah,
they
but
went to people's
the
houses,
time
knocking on
frame,
doors.
MAGA, it's the time. Rush Limbaugh did that shit for decades. Charlie Kirk,
No, but he didn't organize people on the ground going to. He didn't organize.
I'm not
like,
talking about that.
Limbaugh
I'm not talking. I'm talking about stuff like putting aspiring candidates on air and promoting them, helping get conservative.
Look, he did. If we were talking about radio personalities, he's definitely big, and he's definitely bigger than CK on radio. But I'm talking about just overall political.
He's
power.
bigger than He's bigger than CK in conservative circles. Period. I mean, you got
You're
30.
missing my point. You're completely missing my point.
Yeah, because you
I'm
ain't
trying to
giving
tell
it
you about
right.
all the work he did and all the things he did and how much he affected this last election. He picked JD Vance as the VP. Like JD Vance would not be the VP if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk. Trump wouldn't be elected if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk.
And I don't think
a lot of those young votes that Trump won was because of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, but I think because of your age, you don't realize likely how many Republican candidates got their job because of Rush Limbaugh. How many Republicans are on air because of Rush Limbaugh? Who gave you're giving most of the country did, even liberals knew who Rush Limbaugh. People didn't. Hold on. One of the most Googled terms on Google after Charlie Kirk died was his name. A lot of people didn't know who the hell he was. Everybody knew who Rush Limbaugh was.
Let's put it like this. If Charlie Kirk's a 10, Rush Limbaugh is a 9. I'm not saying he was they're up there. They're both up there.
You just too.
Charlie Kirk did more.
You just too young. You too young for the conversation. I mean, you discounting. You discounting somebody because you're in an era where the internet and AM radio and all that stuff. You just are too young for the conversation.
No, I've been on both sides of it. I'm 40. I've been on both sides of it.
You're not going to catch up to Rush Limbaugh in Charlie Kirk's short life. You're not going to do that.
And that's the other thing. If he would have lived, if he didn't get unalived,
maybe
he'd be future president of the United States, guaranteed.
Anything's possible if he had lived. But I'm talking about based on where he died, he had not caught up with Rush Limbaugh. He had not caught up with him.
I mean, TPUSA is such a big thing. Even today, there's still in every college there's a branch of them, and they did a lot of work to get Trump elected. They would have another couple of elections. They'll probably replace the RNC as the more important. What's the word I'm looking for?
Maybe. I'm not arguing with that, but I'm saying that Rush Limbaugh, as Mike even put in the comments, Rush Limbaugh had 4 times as many listeners and viewers than Charlie Kirk. I mean, think about all of your radio hosts, all of your Bill O'Reillys, your Sean Hannitys, all of that stuff spawned off of Rush Limbaugh. All of that, he was the one that was at the top of that.
Look, it's also a bad comparison. It's like comparing... I don't know, comparing electrical car to a gas car. They're the same, but they're also different, and they each have pros and cons.
You don't die in your early 30s and compare yourself to Rush Limbaugh. That's crazy to me.
Well,
you ain't lived long enough to be at that level.
By 33, that's crazy that he did everything that he did by 33. You think Rush Limbaugh was where he's at by 33?
No, I mean by 33. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Charlie Kirk may not have been on a trajectory to do well more than Rush Limbaugh, but he wasn't there yet. You're making it sound like he was already there.
Was there a whole stadium for Limbaugh when he passed away? There was a stadium for CK?
That's the only reason stadium. Hold on. The only reason all the motherfuckers came out to see CK is because Trump did that. That wasn't CK. That was Trump that put all that together.
I mean, you don't think Trump liked Limbaugh?
Trump could fill up a stadium for you if he wanted to. That was Trump. That wasn't CK. Yeah.
I don't think Trump could fill a stadium for me.
Shit, if Trump says me and JD Vance are gonna go speak over our great friend.
Think he could have done that for Limbaugh? I mean, he liked Limbaugh probably more than CK.
They weren't. They weren't acting like that.
He's your age.
They weren't acting like a.
We're not even arguing anything. We're actually agreeing.
We are. No, we disagreeing on this big time. So let's just go into the State of the Union. That's where we got about 10 minutes. So the idea that Democrats didn't stand for putting illegal immigrants over Americans This is becoming viral. What say you on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna say, Democrats are the party for illegal immigrants. We're the party for legal immigrants and Americans. That's what it is. I mean, like, all this work for illegals, like, where's the work for the legal immigrants, for the regular Americans?
I think you guys are anti-immigrant, MAGA. I think you guys have gotten rid of a lot
I'm
of
an immigrant.
You guys really just hate immigrants, in my opinion.
No, what it is Biden let in too many. We just wanted like a year or two where we're like strict and we kick some out, and then we go back to normal. But you guys didn't even give us that. We gave you 4 years where you guys let in whoever you wanted to. You guys wouldn't even give us a year to balance things out, you know?
You know why I say you hate immigrants? Because Obama wasn't known for letting immigrants in the country. And when Trump took office after Obama, he was talking the same anti-immigrant rhetoric then about Muslim bans and building a wall. He was tough on immigrants. It was just he didn't have the party in place, the loyalty to do it. He was anti-immigrant then. So blaming Biden sounds good.
He built the wall and he did all this shit, but what it is Biden took it to a new level.
But like I said, it's fun to put Biden in there. But even when you take Biden out of the picture before Biden became president, Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric was just as strong. He was still anti-immigrant. Without the 18 million illegals that are allegedly here, he was still talking that shit.
I mean, because it was still a problem back then, but you guys took a problem that was like a 5 or 6 and made it like a 12.
If you want to look at
or tripled the problem, so it was a problem the first term, but it wasn't that big of a problem.
It wasn't a problem at all. When Trump took the office after Obama, we didn't have no major illegal immigration problem here at all.
Compared to Biden, immigration was never a problem before. If you just take what Biden did, compared to that, there was never an immigration problem before. He made everything before him what's the word?
Insignificant. Insignificant. Yes. Well, the thing.
Inconsequential is the word I was going to say.
Okay, either way. But my point is this: your side hates immigrants because you're going after all of the TPS.
We're just trying to balance out.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You guys made it sound like you were going after rapists and murderers. Now all of a sudden you gotten rid of the Cubans, TPS, the Venezuelans, temporary protected status, people that voted for you. You're talking about you guys are actually talking about taking away people's citizenship. You guys went way beyond rapists and murderers.
Citizenship. Look, you're gonna always find some clown that's gonna bring shit like what you said up, and I could probably find people on the left saying the same or even worse about letting murderers in.
I think this is coming from. I don't think it's a clown, MAGA. I don't think it's a clown. I think it's coming from Trump.
Well, he's using it. He's being hyperbolic to make a point.
Hyperbolic?
You guys did let in we have illegal immigrants. They did murder people or get into car accidents and manslaughter people. So fixing that problem helps that out a little bit. But realistically, we just need to balance out what Biden did. Despite what everything Trump says, which you keep sticking to what Trump says, the people on the right just want to balance out what Biden did. You guys let in too many. We want to let out a few. And once everything's a little balanced, we could figure out a middle ground. It's our turn to kick him out, and you won't let us kick him out. And you guys are getting killed over
because we don't trust
you see anybody at the border getting killed?
We don't trust the rhetoric. Now you're talking about first it was rapists and murderers. Now you don't want way above that. Well, we just want to balance it out. We don't. You're bending your language. You didn't campaign on balancing it out. You campaigned on getting rid of violent felons. Now you're going way beyond it. Well, we just want to balance it out now.
But you're saying he's kicking all these people out, but he hasn't even matched Biden or Obama. They both deported more people.
That ain't what he campaigned on. He didn't campaign on matching numbers. He campaigned on getting rid of violent felons. Now all of a sudden, he ain't did as many as...
He campaigned on mass deportation. He campaigned on mass deportation. And you guys won't even let him do normal deportation and, you don't even let him do what Biden did.
He didn't campaign on doing what Biden or Obama did. He campaigned on getting rid of violent felons. Why are we comparing numbers all of a sudden?
He also campaigned about mass deportation. Because if we say Biden is like 0, So he has to get to Biden's level and then go a little higher to beat them.
Yeah. Well, that's changing the bar. He made it sound like there was a whole bunch of Lincoln Riley killers over here, and we need to get rid of them. Now all of a sudden
he's those two.
Well, we don't have a problem with that. But we didn't expect him to add so many other people. I want you to hear this because this is what
That's the normal number. That's the normal number. Those people get deported on the regular anyway. You act like those people didn't get deported under Biden. That's regular deportation.
No, but what's going on in places like Minnesota and stuff like that didn't happen under Biden. You're comparing him to Biden and Obama. That stuff wasn't happening under them. So he's went further than what you're trying to make it sound.
Why is Trump so behind Obama and Biden then? Why is his deportation number shit?
He ain't been in office. He ain't been in office for that
regular
long.
people.
What?
We're talking about year versus year. Like his 2025 number is nowhere near Biden's.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I don't know if the numbers coming from the Trump administration are accurate or not because the alligator Alcatraz people, we don't know where they are. Where are their numbers at? We don't even know if the numbers they give us are accurate.
Wait, so you're saying Trump is undervaluing his deportation numbers?
I'm saying I'm not.
For one time, you're saying he's not inflating his numbers?
I'm saying I don't know if the Doge numbers are not accurate. I mean, his weight and mugshot number. I mean, the guy don't give out accurate numbers. I don't know. He might be. I don't know. He's known for giving his vote numbers. You know, when he said he won by a landslide, he don't give accurate information when it comes to data.
Like, I don't go off unlike you, I don't care what Trump says. I'm going off the numbers at the border, the CPS numbers. I'm just going off the data, and I'm using the same data that I used against Biden to support Trump. And
you don't go off.
Low, so he's not even deporting normal amounts of people.
You're saying you don't go off what Trump says. Everything we're discussing is only happening because of what Trump said. None of this would be happening without what Trump has said. He's the reason all of this is happening. You don't know about what he is saying.
Then I actually wanted to come up here and talk to you about freaking minimum wage. It's the stupidest thing that you keep bringing up. If minimum wage could go up by like $10, and I'm guessing your salary is not going to change, or your money is not going to change. That ain't true. You're going to make more money?
That ain't true. Yes. I say this all the damn time. Minimum wage is like the foundation on a home. If you're on the third floor making nowhere near minimum wage, if they put extra foundation on that home, you're going to feel yourself rise on the third floor. It's going to make everybody's salary go up. Yes.
Only because inflation would be the only reason that would be true.
No.
If your wage is $30 and they set the minimal at 10 or 15, your wage is still going to be $30.
I don't agree with that. I'll tell you why. If let's say for instance, I don't agree with that. Let's say for instance, I'm a CNA, certified nursing assistant or something, where I got a little bit of a cert or something. Let's say minimum wage is $9 an hour. And as a CNA, I'm making $12.50 or something like that. If minimum wage suddenly becomes $13-14 an hour, they're not gonna just pay me $13-14 an hour when I can go get a burger flipper job and make the same. They're gonna have to pay me more money. Otherwise, I'm not gonna do that job.
I work in a medical office, and my nurses get paid about $20-25 an hour. Florida's raised their minimal wage to $15. And my nurses still make the same $25 an hour. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't know what the fuck, but I want you to hear this real quick.
People become American citizens every year through the naturalization process. But new today, the Trump administration is increasing staff and resources to revoke citizenship from people they want to scrutinize. NBC5's Phil Prazen takes a look at the issue.
The celebrations are held across the state of Texas.
It was emotional.
Immigrants and their families pledge allegiance to the United States after years of work. This ceremony is the last step in the naturalization process for those over 18 who are legal permanent residents, who pass a civics test, who speak English and have, quote, good moral character. Now, President Trump wants to beef up the process in reverse, adding staff to the 80 field offices to try to find 100 to 200 people a month to denaturalize, who they claim may have lied on their paperwork, are national security threats, or have illegally used Medicaid or Medicare. A spokesperson wrote NBC, quote, we maintain a zero tolerance policy towards fraud.
So now they're deliberately looking for 100 to 300 citizens. They can find something wrong with the kick out.
They're looking for fraud. And
Yeah, right.
Fraud.
Right. I'm going
They're
to
looking
put.
for fraud in the immigration process, and they're looking for fraud.
That's my
What is
point.
wrong with that?
That's just like if you put. I'm going to put an additional 1,000 officers on a highway to find people that are doing 56 to 57.
Also, how many people has this affected?
It ain't happened yet. He's still in the process of doing it. But the point.
Okay, then talk to me when it happens. Stop wasting my time with this shit. Come on, Tim.
So
I'm talking about
bullshit.
minimum wage.
So
What does that have to
wait
do
till
with this shit?
people wait till he's actually doing people wrong to say anything about it. Don't just let it build up, but don't say that until it actually happens.
Yes, because Trump brings up a lot of shit, but what actually gets done is completely different.
You
And
know.
that doesn't even sound like Trump. That sounds more like fucking Miller.
Yeah,
Which, from the sound of it, he's on his way out.
You and I know.
Definitely hurting Trump.
You and I have a big disagreement. And your take is more like what MAGA says. Just let Trump say whatever he wants as long as he don't do it. As far as I'm concerned, if you're president of the United States,
I care about the results.
That's to me, I think that's stupid. If you're president of 300 and some million people, I heard you already. I heard you already. But the point,
I voted for Obama.
I heard. Hold on. As far as I'm concerned, if you are the leader of 300 and some million people, I don't want to ever hear, don't pay attention to anything that comes out of his mouth. That makes him sound like a crazy ass grandpa or something.
No, he's just a very busy guy and likes to talk about everything and see what
like
works,
a crazy
what doesn't
grandpa.
work.
That's what a crazy grandpa
He
does.
is 84, but it's actually like he's seeing what the people want. He's seeing what the people react to. If people are upset about something, he stops it. He doesn't do it. If people will go up, if something's not popular and he sees that people are pushing back against it, he doesn't do it.
Well, to me,
everything that you have gotten, like the children in cages, he stopped doing that once he realized people didn't like it.
To me, what you're saying is stupid. That's to me. That's just to me saying that you should not pay attention. To me, Biden is gone. You got Biden derangement. You got Biden derangement syndrome. He's gone. He's not there anymore.
About any other politician. If Harris was president right now and you were bitching about something she was doing, she wouldn't listen to you. Like Biden didn't listen to us. Obama didn't listen to us. They don't listen to you. Once you vote for them, they don't give a fuck about you. You could complain about immigration or whatever, and they won't even do anything about it until it's election time again.
Well, my point remains. I will never, ever entertain ignoring what a leader of 300 and some million people is saying. That to me, that's the dumbest thing ever. Well, don't pay attention to what, don't ignore everything he says. That makes no sense whatsoever. You're governing 300 and some million people, and we got to ignore the words coming out of your mouth?
Look, I had a guy, Obama, that I voted for. He spoke great. He fucking talked like a fucking president should talk, was the best sounding.
That ain't got nothing to do with what you said. That ain't got nothing to do with what you just said. That ain't got nothing to do. That ain't got nothing to do with what you just said.
Let me finish. We got a guy that spoke well with bad results, and then we got bad results with a guy that fucking talks a lot of shit on TikTok. I'd rather have good results with a shit talker.
That ain't got nothing to do with it. That ain't got nothing to do with this. What you're saying is ignore what the president is saying. That is stupid. I gotta move it on, though, MAGA.
Matter.
Okay.
But listen, you're willing to let someone give you like $10 unemployment or $20 unemployment, then charge you like $15 in taxes more through gas, through all this other shit. All this extra money they'll give you in minimum wage. Sorry, I said unemployment, I meant minimum wage. All the money in minimum wage, they take back in taxes. Especially in places like California, where they give you $20.
I gotta go. You drag. I'll talk about it on the other side. I disagree with that. The idea that if minimum wage increases, businesses are just going to do bad shit. So we should just let businesses pay you whatever. I disagree with it. Like I told my other caller, as an employee, if I'm working at a company, I don't ever want somebody to tell me you're better off getting paid less. It's like, no, give me my minimum wage increase, and if they raise the prices of shit, then it's up to me to judge what I want to buy and what I don't want to buy. I mean, I tend to believe companies and corporations are going to raise the price of stuff no matter what, whether they give you a minimum wage increase or not. They're going to still find a way to increase goods and services. So just give me my fucking money. I mean, McDonald's, you go in there now, there is nobody behind the cash register. You put your order in a machine and they got less employees there now. Did the price of the food go down? No. You go to Walmart. It's been that way for over a decade now. You go to Walmart, you're ringing up your own fucking groceries. The girl that used to stand there or the guy that used to stand there that they were paying to do that, they're gone now. Did the price of the goods that you purchasing there go down? No. They got rid of a whole job and they didn't lower your price of groceries at all. So if that's the case, then just give me my fucking minimum wage increase. I mean, it's like we're viewing, this sounds like the Mitt Romney thing. Corporations are good people too or something like that. Corporations ain't gonna do right by you no matter what the hell you do for them. So give me my money. Fuck that. If you don't take a minimum wage, things won't go up in price. Show me where that's happened. The price of goods and services are going to go up whether you get a minimum wage increase or not. So if you are okay with not letting the minimum wage go up, then you are going to be the only one that's not receiving a wage increase because the businesses are going to find a way to get theirs no matter what. So you either get a cut or you don't. Why the hell would employees think it's better if they got less money? That makes no sense at all to me. No sense whatsoever. We can point to examples where they raised the minimum wage and the price of food and services and stuff went up. But we can also point to plenty of examples where they didn't raise the minimum wage and prices of goods and services went up as well. So if it's going to happen anyway, then fucking pay me. To me, that sounds crazy. These are the same people that try to tell Americans that you're better off without a union. These are the same people that tell you that, well, they're taking, $20, $30 out of your check and they ain't doing shit for you. All you got to do is tell any union employee, go look at somebody else that's doing what you're doing as well that is not in a union. And you'll quickly see your job security is better. You're getting all sorts of guarantees like, you got a union steward and folks that fight. They're not perfect, but to me, working without a union is like going to court without a lawyer. But these are the same folks that tell you this shit. It makes no sense to me. It's anti-working, man. Minimum wage increase across the board is what we need. Like if you raise minimum wage, everyone's wage would go up. Middle class gets screwed normally. And like I said, minimum wage is like a foundation on a home. Doesn't matter, or a foundation on a building or a skyscraper if you want to look at it. No matter where you're at in that structure, if the foundation rises, everybody goes up. Now he's saying that minimum wage went up several dollars in his area and the nurses didn't get an increase. Yeah, maybe it won't happen overnight, but it's certainly absolutely going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. If the minimum wage people are making, if they go from making $8 or $9 an hour to $12 or $13 an hour, think about all the jobs. Let's go back right before the pandemic, because that's what made wages go up, is they had to encourage people to go back to work. Before the pandemic hit, it was not uncommon to find jobs paying $8, $9, $10 an hour. It was minimum wage jobs paying very low like that. And now, yeah, they're paying $15, $20 an hour as a burger flipper. But before that, yeah, so the jobs that are above that has been affected by that. I don't know why people seem to think that none of that's happened. I'm in a union and they don't play that shit. Yeah, I've worked for unions and I've done the same gig in a non-union job. First thing I noticed when working in a non-union job is the office politics is terrible. In a union job, the people know they have rights. So they have an us against them mentality. The people are not as afraid of management as they are in non-union jobs, because in non-union jobs, they can fire you for whatever. In a union job, you guys have negotiated a contract, so they got to follow rules. They can't just tell you, you 5 minutes late today. I see you were 5 minutes late 2 years ago. Get the fuck out of here. That don't work in a union job. In a non-union job, you got to sue them out of your own pocket. It's just the amount of protections in a union. Why do you think corporations want to get rid of unions? You think that if the union wasn't doing anything for the employee, you think they would really be concerned about getting rid of them? They want to get rid of them because it does take a lot of the power away from them. You're not going to find a union position where minimum wage has stayed the same year after year after year. That doesn't happen anywhere in the union. You don't even find union positions where the mid-level salaries remain the same year after year after year. Everybody's getting extra money. Now, when you max out, that's something different. But even when you max out and they renegotiate a contract, you get a raise. Non-union jobs, you can work at the motherfuckers for years and keep getting excuses from management why they can't give you a raise. Motherfuckers be out there 5 years. I ain't had a raise in 4 or 5 years. That don't happen in a union job. That type of stuff does not happen in a union job. I personally was in a union, and they were telling us for a year they couldn't give us a raise. Our union found out the CEO was getting a $2 million bonus. We went on strike. 30 days later, they were talking about how much extra money they were going to give us. It wasn't a lot, but they absolutely would have gave us zero if it wasn't for that union. I don't know how, and this is particularly on the right, they have convinced the employee that they're better off looking out for their employers than their own selves. They actually believe, this is something from the right, that right to work states are better than union states. You already have that as an employee. You already can quit your job anytime you want. Why the hell would you want to favor letting employers fire you for any reason they want to? Why would any employee favor that? But folks on the right are anti-union and they favor right to work states. They think it's more fair some kind of way. It ain't fair for you at the bottom. Tim, don't let that food take us if it wasn't for at work. I would try to go tomorrow. It is what it is. I do gotta wrap it up. Unfortunately, that's how we go home sometimes. Straight talk. I saw that in the comments real quick. Herb, you don't really believe that Donald Trump will, in any shape or form, be president in 2028, even if it was constitutionally illegal. Come on now. And that's another thing, too, in regards to what I keep saying about after Trump, the right ain't going to be complaining about anything. I mean, you guys are entertaining letting an 80-year-old dude have a third term. I don't want to hear any more about a liberal breaking the Constitution. I mean, because that goes against the Constitution, obviously. And the right are selling hats and everything. So when the liberal gets in there and he's talking about doing something unconstitutional, well, you guys are talking about Trump 2028. I think that they, in favor of Trump, has allowed Trump to say so much shit that going forward, you ain't going to be able to complain about anything the liberals do. Because it's going to be something Trump has done that they can bring up. You know, the whataboutisms, the deflections to Trump are going to be probably going on for a decade or more. You were okay when Trump did that, or you were okay when he got on the internet and said that, or you were okay when he talked to a reporter that way. You ain't going to be able to complain about anything. You've let him play all of your cards in defense of him. You put all of that behind him. So it kind of is what it is at this point. I mean, up to and including elections and all that stuff. You've kind of let him do everything. So, Tim, they keep taking your likes. This number keeps going down. How does that work? I've never seen a like go away. All right, I'll leave it at that. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I've probably talked too damn much anyway. Follow the program if you're watching on Substack, Instagram, or TikTok. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Y'all take care. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you on YouTube as well.